There is 15 famous rappers sitting away behind bars that you forgot about, like Tory Lanez, who was sentenced to 10 years in prison for committing a crime against Megan Thee Stallion. However, some people think that he didn't even do the crime.
Meanwhile, musician Tory Lanez convicted of rapper Megan Thee Stallion sentenced to 10 years in prison. A judge in Los Angeles handing down that sentence today, culminating a case that filled gossip pages and polarized the music industry.
Meanwhile, Lil Durk has been sitting away behind bars for multiple years, but he is trying to find a way out. But sadly, due to another M charge being added to his list, he never will.
He's talking to a cellmate. Yeah, I had the standard, folk, with a 60 round in that. I let 3 shots out when he first came out. So now the cellmate, who's a confidential source, is saying, tell me more.
New evidence shared at Lil Durk's court hearing today revealed he is connected to another passing in Chicago, with this body being in revenge for the passing of his brother D-Thang. The news wrote today, Lil Durk has been indicted for another M for hire charge for the passing of Stefan Mack. It is believed that Mack was targeted as revenge for the passing of Lil Durk's brother D-Thang, with the official court file reading. The government has informed the defense counsel that it is considering filing supplemental charges by June 3rd, 2026. The new charges would add 2 alleged incidents as direct evidence, being the passing of Stefan Mack. This happened due to one of Lil Durk's guys being fooled inside a jail by a federal informant reading. DJ Academics reveals that one of Lil Durk's alleged members confessed to a cellmate who was reportedly an undercover informant that Durk paid him to retaliate for D-Thang, who passed.
He gets locked up in a cell and they give him a cellmate. He tells his cellmate who he murdered, how he murdered him, the homie he did the murder with, and who was supposed to pay him for the murder. Thank you. Come again. Perfect. Got him. So he confessed, essentially. He's talking to a cellmate. Listen to how he's talking to his cellmate, chat. Yeah, I had the standard, folk, with a 60 round in that on mic. I let 3 shots out when he first came out. Marley said, yo, wait till he get to the car. I say, yo, tweaking, boy. By the time he get to the car, that's enough time for him to get his pipe. Yo, so now the cellmate, who's a confidential source, is saying, tell me more.
With the official court document now reading, the newly unsealed filing in the U.S. District Court in Chicago alleges Durk Banks was behind the January 27, 2022 passing of Stefan Mack, age 24, who was targeted shortly after he exited the Youth Peace Center of Roseland on West 111th Street. At the time of his passing, according to the FBI, Stefan Mack was the leader of the Smashville faction of the Gangster Disciples. But with one of Lil Durk's guys being fooled inside a jail, the feds went back to the week D-Thang passed, and you will not believe what Lil Durk did. The literal day Stefan Mack passed away, Durk wrote on his IG story, for D-Thang. Then only 1 hour after that, he posted this video on his Instagram story.
Somebody else said Slap Khan. Well, look Khan, that'll, yeah. Shout out to man. You gotta know your jewelry, like.
This actually answers the question of why Durk is being treated so poorly inside a jail and why he's currently in solitary confinement, because they will not allow him near other inmates while these pending charges are making its way through the court system.
They got Lil Durk in a hole for basically some BS, and right now we're gonna show the paperwork. They saying that he was caught with a cell phone, and basically that's not true. They trying to keep him in a hole, do a lot of things that they shouldn't be doing or whatever, but they're trying to make a point because they saying that me and him is privileged and we got so many things going on, and it's a lot of BS.
However, it gets even worse because the prosecutors, having all the leverage now, they would go to submit a motion to be allowed to show King Von's passing footage with the jury, as it shows Durk's motive to go get revenge for him, and the judge ended up approving it.
Testimony and video surveillance surrounding the death of King Von, and the motion to exclude this evidence was denied, meaning The judge is going to allow witnesses to testify about and allow the video of King Von to be played at the trial. And this is important because the prosecutors wanted to use this evidence to argue that King Von is the reason or motive as to why Durk offered this bounty on Quando Rondo. And so with this ruling, the jury will get to see and hear about all of that.
They're allowing it for two reasons. One being when Von passed, a lot of ops were celebrating it on social media. They claim this fueled Lil Durk to go out and get revenge to make everyone stop speaking about King Von.
When you heard that, considering the back and forth that y'all have had in your own ways, how did you feel?
So I kind of happy.
You were happy?
Can I say I was kind of happy? No, no, seriously, I was though. It was up. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, he did. But I was happy as when I found out Von was dead. I cooked for the whole day. Wild people.
When you looked at King Von getting, how did you feel? Considering the animosity between you guys up to that point.
Like my real first thought, I was happy.
You're happy.
I was happy.
Meanwhile, the second reason they're gonna show King Von's passing footage is because the judge also allowed certain lyrics to be used against Lil Durk. The lyrics are, and I quote, "They be on my page like slide for Von, I know they're trolling me. Got it back in blood, y'all just don't know that's how it's supposed to be," which they will be connecting to Lil Durk's interview that he did with DJ Academics, where he ends up talking about the slide for Von comments, acknowledging that he has seen them.
What are you talking about? By the slide for Von comments. Still, I don't know if people still say it. They used to say it, but you also mention a song. They be like, they be saying slide for Von. I think they trolling me. Yo, by the way, that song is fire. I ain't gonna lie.
For some reason, I just don't see them comments no more. For some odd reason. I don't know. Might be the water.
This will end up affecting Lil Durk more than anyone knows because the prosecutors can use it as leverage to the jury, proving that Lil Durk was fully aware of the slide for Von comments, then even made a statement saying, well, I no longer see those comments anymore, referring to the Quando Rondo hit being the reason why. But the prosecutors, they found even more Lil Durk lyrics, making it even worse because he rapped, "Don't respond to things with Von." I'm like, F it, you're tripping, go get your... They're dropping locations, I'm getting it done. Tweeting, "We're sliding, the feds are coming," where they are claiming this confirms Lil Durk's entire motive of not responding to King Von comments, grabbing his firearm, and getting the job done. Literally his step-by-step plan.
Now the search is on for 3 people who police say at a Savannah rapper, a member of his entourage. It happened in Los Angeles and cameras captured the aftermath.
This man, a passenger in that car, frantic at the sight.
This is the concerning part. Many believe rap lyrics cannot be used against you in the court of law, but in all reality, they are allowed. It's just very rare for it to happen. So when they are allowed, that's how you know it's a very serious problem. With Lil Durk acknowledging the sliding for Von comments and rapping about it, all they needed was evidence of Durk paying for the hit, and they ended up finding it. They'd appear in court sharing a 2022 selfie of Lil Durk with $1 million in cash on his bathroom counter. To the innocent eye, this is a generic flex photo that many rappers take, but in reality, it tells the entire story. It was shared in court. Prosecutors say Lil Durk placed a $1 million bounty on Quando Rondo in 2022. The discovery also shows that defendant Banks used his trusted lieutenants to recruit hitmen to fly to Southern California on August 18, 2022 to get Quando Rondo, where they are claiming the photo of Lil Durk showing $1 million on his bathroom counter was his way to confirm to the people that were hired to do the crime that the cash was ready, Lil Durk is in the photo, and that everything is good to go. It continues reading, consistent with defendant Banks' promise to reward co-conspirators, defendant Wilson solicited hitmen by promising to pay a $1 million reward on behalf of defendant Banks in exchange for flying to Los Angeles to commit the crime, meaning those those who flew to Los Angeles to commit the crime all split the $1 million. Then those who helped Lil Durk set it all up, they got other rewards. Because the court file reads, nonetheless, rewarded co-conspirators got other items featuring in many of the direct participant music videos and rap lyrics in the months following the crime, where Lil Durk would end up featuring on Diddy's song The Block Is Hot, being OTF Diddy's reward for helping Durk commit the crime. This left creators reacting,
Remo, this is my last no jumper. Durk Tory told me I wasn't supposed to come back up here with that last.
Now look what happened to him.
That man got kids. You talking about look what happened to him.
Definitely not happy about him.
I wouldn't be happy if you go to jail, Adam, because I know you got daughter. Break down.
There's multiple people who are no longer there for their kids as a result of that Durk allegedly called in.
Until they put that on black and white, sir. Stop throwing stuff on a black man who's trying to do something right for the community right now.
The feds have already put out a lot of information about this.
You don't have to put it out. You don't have to put it out. So this is a major platform.
You're not the boss of me. We talk about rap on here. I think it is well within our jurisdiction to talk about the fact
that what type of police
has been alleged to have ordered them.
Free smirk though.
Free smirk. But also maybe
police. It's a platform. There's some police.
Just sit down for a little bit and decide, hey, maybe I'm not anybody else.
We don't have no proof that.
Well,
we don't.
With all of this shared in court, we would see Lil Durk react. In the news writing, Lil Durk shares a powerful message from prison saying he's tired of being a pawn for the culture and now wants to help shift things into a more positive direction. He said it's been on his heart to guide the next generation, stressing that kids are watching and need someone positive to look up to, saying, quote, it's just been sitting on my heart lately to just save this generation, to save these kids. For these kids, we gotta be their heroes. Whether it's Lil Durk being genuine that he wants to have a more positive reach on his life, or that he's trying to give himself a much better public image after it was announced that there is a new OTF snitch, and he might be afraid of what he's gonna share.
To life by basically saying he's guilty of for hire, and the only thing that, like, yes, some of these things look suspect. Why'd you go there? Why are these people going there? Why'd you send this message? But nothing. There's no message that they got that says where Durk says y'all that Quando yet. Nothing says that.
You missing the point. Okay. They got a witness already cooperating on that. Been had one. We just ain't seen what they said. It's 3 years. One of the cooperating.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so that's co-conspiracy.
Yeah, I don't know. You don't need too much more than that. One of them is cooperating. Then in the paperwork, you got the conversation. They say they had it in and out. The other 2 was figuring out how they getting paid.
Whoever the new OTF snitch is ended up sharing with police the entire OTF iMessage group chat because the court file reads, Lil Durk is facing allegations from federal prosecutors that he put hits on O Block members for not retaliating for King Von. Prosecutors plan to introduce testimony from the witness who claims Durk gave the orders. Further reading, defendant Banks feuds with O Block member Munna Duke over Banks's belief that O Block members were not properly retaliating for Bennett's passing, where there was a massive argument in the iMessage group chat of Lil Durk yelling at O Block members for not sliding. But this is the very interesting part, because it seems the feds have been holding on to all of the evidence shared in this video just to see Lil Durk's lawyer's hand. Before they showed this in court today, Lil Durk thought he was literally getting released. Reading, quote, Lil Durk is in good spirits as he calls the OTF crew from jail after his lawyers recently said that he's confident about his chances at trial.
I got your speaker, I got Ike right here, I got Chucky right here, I got Mando right here. Who you gonna be getting first? Who you gonna be beat that? What you on, big boy? And alive every day. It was simple. Well, I'm asking about you. I'm on you. You know that. What you got going? Working on EP, I'm feeling good as I'm good. I just rock it on live. Like literally, you gonna see that when you
This even got the attention of Young Thug, who would end up reacting, "Free Smirk, please God." We even saw the famous rap lawyer Bradford Cohen write, "Never underestimate Brian Steele. I actually like Durk's chances at trial. It is not a slam dunk case, and it is defendable." This all stemmed from the other famous rap lawyer Mo at Lawyers for Workers, who would explain everything that was happening in the months prior, where the feds withdrew a lot of evidence they had against Lil Durk, resulting in them panicking on what they even wanted to charge Durk with. This could explain why they're also now adding Stephon Mack's passing charge.
Fact of the matter is, his trial team has won a number of points in this case. Some of the evidence that they wanted to use has actually been withdrawn so that the judge didn't have to exclude it. When they bought this case, they said the conspiracy started in August 2022. That's when Durk arranged to get these rentals, these flights. That's when he made arrangements for the bounty. Then they switched that and they said, actually, the conspiracy started back when Von November 2020. And here's the big one. When they charged Durk, they said in the indictment about the bounty that at the direction of defendant Durk Banks, defendant Wilson, that's OTF Diddy, would pay the bounty or monetary reward to the That's gone.
Before court today, Lil Durk was in a heavy favorite position for winning the entire case, because the prosecutors even added a fallback charge, which in the court system is known as a Hail Mary.
Also added a fallback charge. So when they bought the case, the original indictment, there was no stalking charge. In the second superseding indictment against Durk, they added a stalking charge. And the stalking charge is important because it doesn't require any contract. No quid pro quo, no bounty, no payment theory. You can add that charge and simply prove that, hey, he was telling people to go do this. He didn't necessarily pay them to go do a, but he was telling them to go follow that guy. He was telling them to go stalk that guy. And a jury can look at it and say, a lot like in the Diddy case, that, hey, not exactly sure here. Very, very, very suspicious individual over here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit him with the lesser charge. And so, when the government puts in that fallback charge later in the case, that tells you that they're not 100% sure.
But now, with everything being shared in court today, it really seems like it's over for Lil Durk. Durk's team wrote on his IG story, "Crazy how you gotta wait until it's dark out to see who's really with you." Even DJ Academics explained how all rappers really left his side. But like the video if you're still supporting Lil Durk.
I wouldn't be surprised if some of the went on tour with, did songs with, called you they brother, they twin. I wouldn't be surprised if these rappers try to India. These are down low and dirty. And I think this is what, I think Durk right now is thinking that, man, I thought I was just with a whole bunch of real. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. And I feel bad for Durk. When King Slime got locked up, there was a whole parade. Free him! Free him! Free him! Oh, nah. Everybody would post details of the case. How is this humane? How could they do this? Yo, free... not smart. No, free Slime. Durk got locked up. They might give that half a bar. Free Smirk. And they moved the... I'll give credit. I have heard some of these guys have sent lawyers. Good for that. But Smirk is in there, man, realizing the world don't stop spinning because you locked up.
However, the newest artist to be taken into prison is David, who was finally arrested for the crimes that he committed. Now inside a court, it was even revealed of why he did it. Famous singer David was seen getting emotional inside a court after hearing his family will be testifying against him. The court updated the file today reading, "Throughout 2024, Celeste spent a significant amount of time with defendant, including summer weekends at his home in the Hollywood Hills, and traveling with him to Las Vegas, London, and Texas to meet his family."
So, it is unclear how much David's parents or brother knew about his interactions with Celeste and if they were aware of how she was. But what we do know is that the family was ordered to come to LA and testify, seemingly in front of a grand jury, as prosecutors worked to build a case against him. And in court filings regarding this whole back and forth about his family being subpoenaed to testify in LA, there was this section for each witness. Quote, "Detectives learned that Caleb Burke is the younger brother of target David Burke and has a close relationship with him. Detectives learned that Colleen Burke is the mother of target David Burke and has a close relationship with him. Per several witnesses, she is instrumental to his career success and manages his business finances."
Meaning David's family knew about Celeste, raising the question, why did they let the relationship continue? Investigators believe when Celeste and David soft launched their relationship during a live stream, it was actually at one of the family get-togethers.
Yo, wait.
Oh, look it. Answer that one. That's so mean if you don't answer
Which
that.
one? What's good, David? Big fan, big spam. Bro, thank you. Mitchell.
I gotta stop with him if you even.
Are
We need to delete this.
Maz, can we delete all VODs? And then as soon as the stream ends, delete the stream too?
Where they were able to piece it together due to the kitchen they were in. However, the real reason the family was set to testify against their own son was for one specific reason. The feds believe David told somebody about what he allegedly did. In the evidence file, it reads, defendant used an item towards her multiple times and stood by while she passed. I had to be careful with my words, but this means the feds have a witness who will testify David not only did the crime, but stood there and decided to not try and save her, making everyone question, did he tell one of his loved family members or did he tell one of his best friends?
Defendants multiple times and stood by while she out. How did they know that?
How do they know that he stood there? Because look, I got to tell you, as an old investigator, you know where I get that kind of information from? It's not from the perpetrator. To say someone stands there and watches an individual out, that comes from a witness.
Whoever David told about the crime also tried to help him cover it up. It reads, David allegedly took Celeste's left ring and pinky finger because her finger contained a tattoo of his name. They were never recovered, and the singer allegedly used a fake name of Victoria Mendez to order 2 chainsaws, a bag, heavy-duty laundry bags, and a blue inflatable pool from Amazon, in addition to a shovel from Home Depot via Postmate. With the feds wondering, why did he order 2 chainsaws? Because the chainsaws that he ordered are specifically made for very tough tree cutting, meaning he didn't order 2 expecting the first one to break. They would also share this video of David trying to clean things in the aftermath, where one video of David cleaning Celeste's shoes was the main topic, where these are the same Jordans that Celeste was seen wearing on her school bus, then leading into his last purchase on Amazon. Additionally, on July 7th, 2025, defendant ordered and Amazon delivered a burn cage to his home under the same fake name as a part of his plan to incinerate the evidence.
Been wondering just what it was that a private investigator named Steve Fisher found inside David's home when he was given access last October. The PI reported seeing, quote, items you would expect to find on a farm rather than in a home in the Hollywood Hills. And today, we are learning about one of those items.
The Amazon description of the burn cage reads, a private investigator reveals that this incinerator is capable of burning at temperatures up to 1600 degrees, and it was found in David's home. While also being noted, this piece of equipment is typically used at farms, and it's actually illegal for any LA resident to have without a permit or owning a registered farm, which I guess wasn't a red flag when David ordered it on Amazon. However, everything changed inside of the courtroom, where David and his family were seen getting emotional after the motive was revealed. Reading, new evidence was found relating to Celeste telling David she's going to tell on him to police days after she passed, where DJ Academics reacted.
They're saying that the Celeste girl, maybe she was already talking to the cops, like, yeah, this creep is, you know, he on me. Now, granted, who knows if David was trying to leave her or whatever the case is, but look like she would also try to threaten David with that, to say, yo, you know, I'm about to go tell on your, right? Which already you should know, he should have knew that he's doing something wrong. Well, I mean, he should have knew of GP, like, she's gang. But she would, allegedly, according to this complaint, she had threatened that, yo, you know, I could ruin your music career or something like that.
Investigators went through David's iPhone and they found messages between the two arguing about Celeste wanting more of a relationship and wanting to be treated better, or else she was gonna go to police, resulting in one reaction reading, I just want to say good luck to David going back to his cell block at jail after this court hearing. Once inmates hear this stuff, he's gonna be cooked, because that piece of evidence right there literally revealed the two had a their relationship, which also turns David now into a higher risk inmate, which means he needs to be held in a higher security jail block. This reads, David's current jail conditions: being held in a segregated single cell, escorted from his cell to shower, which he is allowed every other day, only allowed to make phone calls on the day that he showers, getting 3 hours of rec time with fresh air per week, no access to a TV, cannot have visitors, reportedly has no money on his books. One law enforcement source even described the facility as dirty, smelly, and wild, which is the total opposite lifestyle that David is used to living in his multi-million-dollar LA lifestyle. Once these charges and evidence go around that cell block, it's gonna get really bad for him. Not to mention, according to his arrest poster, David is listed at 5'5", 125 pounds, meaning most of you watching this video can likely bench press him, but this is extremely undersized when going to prison, where you will be targeted for the crimes that you committed. No matter what cell block or protective custody unit you're in, they will find you. And it's not like he'll grow any muscle while in there either. 6 days a week, David will be eating macaroni and beef dinner, 1 apple, 8 ounces of milk, and his dessert is a peanut butter granola bar. This is the standard living at one of USA's worst jails. According to news, David has been transferred to the Men's Central Jail in LA County. It's been reported that he is in solitary because he is a public figure, making many believe his celebrity status will save him, but it won't. One viral reply read, even with David being placed in solitary confinement, he will still get his 1 hour of rec time per day, where the other PC inmates will confront him and deal with him due to the charges against him. There is no way of staying safe in there after committing the crimes that he did. A former inmate who stayed at the same jail David is currently at explained what will likely happen to him because he won't be able to leave his cell. So the inmates, they're gonna come to him and he has no way of protecting himself.
How are offenders and treated in prison? They got treated bad. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even think nothing about that. I just know that it was like every 15 to 20 minutes that went past, guys was going past this one cell, and it'd be like, there's 3 of them. One of them would grab the cell door and then be on this side like this, and then the other 2 would be on this side. So the one, and they did this like every 20 to 30 minutes, every like clockwork. And this one would yank the door open, and the other 2 on this side had cups full of and boo-boo. So when he yanked the door open, they just throw the cups of boo-boo in there on him, and then boom, close the door, lock it on him. You know, so that was crazy. But and then some was getting jumped on, some was getting slapped, extorted, some was having to do favors.
But this is where it gets interesting, because once David enters his compound, these are the charges that will be shared cell to cell to see if he's welcome. You tell me if you would welcome him in. After hearing, David reportedly committed the crime with a sharp object. The charges against David include 1 M charge for financial gain, M charge to prevent testimony, M charge by lying in wait, use of a strong object, and charges for what he did to Celeste in the aftermath.
First of all, we suspected that David would be charged with after that was what he was arrested for, and in other court documents that came out a couple months ago, we know that he was being investigated for murder. But first-degree murder with special circumstances? Lying in wait to murdering a witness as part of an investigation, murdering for financial gain, and now facing the possibility of the death penalty, even though it's my understanding there is a moratorium in California. That is a huge deal.
These will be more than enough to have David dealt with while in jail, and because of this, David's family are extremely nervous for their son. Reading, we are disappointed but not surprised the district attorney made this decision. David's family stands behind him 100%. However, David's reaction was extremely different. While the judge was listing off David's charges, the famous singer was seen with an open mouth as if he was surprised and or yelling as the judge ended the statement by mentioning the chance of the penalty, which ended in David's lawyers pleading not guilty reading, David Burke reportedly appeared nervous with his eyes darting around and pled not guilty. His attorneys are requesting a full preliminary hearing with grand jury transcripts. His next hearing is April 23rd, no bail, meaning David's going to be staying in one of the worst jails in the USA for a very long time until trial begins. They have leverage on him to continue denying his bail because of what was found on his phone and who is going to testify against him. Reading, investigators revealed David's arrest took so long because the feds had wiretaps across all of his devices, sitting back and letting all of his slip-ups get collected, but there is another reason. They've been investigating his close friends as well. They secured deals with witnesses who will testify about his relationship with Celeste, with the one very important name being brought up, Neo Langston. He wrote on Instagram, "Thankfully I'm legally fine in every way, and boy do I got my receipts for things." These two had a very odd relationship, with some believing they were actually in one, but others believing they were good friends. Old photos on Instagram show David and Neo recreating the famous Titanic pose, laying in bed together, and so much more. But the day after that Celeste was found, the news wrote, receipts show that David and Neo, who had been constantly together, now no longer follow each other on Instagram. What happened to Celeste and who put her in the Tesla? Did Celeste learn or witness something significant related to David? Which, according to investigators, this was Neo's way of cutting ties with David. Because as of now, the evidence against him is unbelievable, such as a video on David's iCloud seeming like a confession by the singer, where the feds checked the metadata of when David recorded this video, lining up perfectly to the time investigators believe Celeste had passed.
Hey guys, I know I haven't posted on this account in a little minute, but I just had some words to share with you for 2025. Despite all the craziness that's going on, all the turmoil, the natural disasters, the pain and things like that this year, I just wanted to tell you guys not to be discouraged and not to lose hope and not to turn your face from God in these times of evil. And it seems like it's the most insane start to a year that I've ever seen. But God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and love and a sound mind. So keep that sound mind, 2025. Stay prayed up.
Where David mentions the passings that have been going on in his life, but investigators looked into it, no close family or any close friends had passed around the time of the metadata date of the video, suggesting that he's literally hinting towards the passing of Celeste. But if that wasn't bad enough, the feds also found an interview with David confirming that he has an alter ego who likes to live in an anime-like world that goes and commits serious crimes. Listen to the crime he uses as the example.
Basically an agent of chaos and kind of my alter ego, and the story of the manga went like I was a detective and there was an evil version of myself that would kind of come out at random moments, kind of like Fight Club with Tyler Durden, and he would commit the crimes that I would have to solve as the detective. So like when I was as the detective, I'd be like solving that I'm committing myself. And it was like a cool little story. I didn't think anything would come of it, like it was in the vault.
With one viral reply reading, there's hundreds of crimes he could have used as an example when describing his alter ego, but he chooses to say that. I cannot be the only one seeing how obvious this all is, right? And if it's obvious to you what happened, comment your theories down below. I'm gonna read them all and I'll make a video about it at a later date. Meanwhile, Yungeen Ace is about to enter lockup after being named in the Julio Fulio trial, after being named by Jacksonville police several times, as well as in paperwork by witnesses that claimed that there was a $10,000 bounty to have Julio Fulio dealt with.
Yeah, back behind. Jacksonville rapper Yungeen Ace arrested by Jacksonville Beach police around midnight.
The Julio Fulio passing trial started today, and Yungeen Ace was immediately mentioned for being responsible. The news wrote, prosecutors wasted no time setting the tone. In a surprising move, the state played Game Over by Yungeen Ace for the jury in court. Why it matters: the track is allegedly known as a diss aimed at Julio Fulio. Lyrics referenced in court include mentions of Mr. Six, which prosecutors say point towards Charlie Charles Jones, aka Julio Fulio. The state is using the song to highlight the ongoing rap beef and possible motive behind the case, with the entire courtroom having to listen to the song.
Game over. When you hear him mentioning Mr. Six, that is Charles Jones. The Don Julio you keep seeing, again, that is a diss against Charles Jones, whose rap name was Julio Fulio.
The prosecutors would then give more context to the jury about who Yungeen Ace is. They would share this photo of Yungeen Ace on the 6th floor flexing 40 bottles of Don Julio, which is an absolute diss towards Fulio, which resulted in investigators announcing new evidence was found by Jacksonville investigators showing Yungeen Ace admitting to being involved in the passing of rival Julio Fulio, sending memes to the suspects of the crime to even placing bounties, as not only did Yungeen Ace flex the 40 bottles, but he also sent a meme to one of the suspects' phone after Fulio passed, making fun of the fallen rapper.
The state presented a picture from Gathrigh's cell phone taken one day after the showing a bottle of Don Julio. The detective testified that, based on knowledge, this represents an insult to the rapper Julio Fulio.
Due to this, the news would read, Jacksonville rapper Yungeen Ace to be arrested in 2026. The sheriff announced several crimes in the area is due to Yungeen Ace and his team ATK. Expect a possible RICO, where the Jacksonville police would even announce they are now targeting ATK.
Furthermore, it was found that the shooters are members of or affiliated with rival gangs of Jones that go by ATK and 1200. Jones was part of the 6 block. Detectives believe that the ATK and the 1200 worked together to target Jones as part of an ongoing feud in Jacksonville.
Being mentioned in the first day of the Julio Fulio trial didn't settle well for Yungeen Ace. He would begin panicking on social media, tweeting, "Ain't no such thing as ATK no more. That stuff is gone and over with," alongside an Instagram video running away from the gang problem.
I say no more ATK, it ain't no more. What you talking about? Niggas don't do shit. Niggas don't do shit. Niggas tripping. Everybody always got shit to say. These niggas. When the time for the Lord to be paid, where the niggas be at? Got all this shit to say, where the niggas be at though? What niggas be need to get buried? When the time to spend that money, where the niggas be? We always got shit to say, but don't be on shit, man. They don't get no feet wet or nothing, man. Niggas be talking, man. What's wrong with these, man? Talking about don't talk like me. Don't get the man. When I say no more ATK, ain't no more.
However, during the Fulio trial, it would be doubled down that Yungeen Ace is a part of ATK and not to let his Instagram video try to trick anyone.
So sorry, not the meaning of ATK, but that Yungeen Ace is a part of ATK. Did you say whether you know that?
Yeah.
Okay. ATK and 6 Block, do those two groups get along?
No.
Charles Jones, just for the jury, is a part of 6 Block, is that correct?
Yeah.
And Yungeen Ace is a part of ATK, is that correct?
Yeah.
And to your knowledge, Alicia Andrews is not a part of either of those groups, correct?
I don't know her.
Alright.
Miss Albritton, going back to these drill rap videos, in particular the song of Charles Jones about your boyfriend, is that When I See You? Is that the song that you're talking about?
I guess, yeah.
And that's one of the music or drill rap videos that you don't like, is that correct?
I don't care for them.
Due to this, all of Yungeen Ace's tour dates have now been canceled. It was shared, Yungeen Ace has now canceled all of his tour dates that were scheduled to take place this month, where Yungeen Ace himself would even react to it, blaming the police for the situation.
Jacksonville police and I don't know how they be doing this, but they always call around and cancel my shows. What's up with y'all? What's going on? Why y'all want to cancel my show? I don't even live there in Jacksonville. Why y'all want to cancel my show? Why y'all trying to my money? Yeah, man, y'all trying to my life. Cause y'all worry about what I got going on. I ain't with y'all. Y'all cancel all my shows, but I just had a show in Temple. Y'all done got my show canceled in Tampa. I had a show in Virginia. I called, got my show canceled up. I had a show in Gainesville. I canceled my show in Gainesville before. Daytona. You feel me? Like, what's really going on?
Making many believe the police were doing this so then Yungeen Ace wouldn't be able to afford lawyers if ATK was to face a RICO charge and Yungeen Ace gets arrested. However, this is where everything got worse. The Jacksonville police would then release never-before-seen Foolio files during trial, which reads, investigators in Jacksonville are starting to hear rapper Queso played a role in the passing of Foolio, being a main member at ATK. There's news of him adding money to the hit pool, a collection of money for bounties to deal with their ops, which raised a major red flag in the court file because of the evidence from one specific gang member claiming there was a $10,000 bounty for Foolio, raising the question, who put up the money?
Hey, on everything I love, bro. On the day homies, bro, I put it on everything on my soul, on my kids. I'm the one that smacked Foolio that night when he got at his birthday celebration, bro. You feel me? I ain't gonna show my face and give my identity away or nothing like that, but you know, I did that, you feel me? It was money on his head, you feel me? I rock with Ace and them boys, you feel me? ATK, you feel me? I be in Jacksonville heavy, you feel me? If you know, you know. But yeah, you feel me? I did that, you feel me? I handled that, cause, you know, Ace had that money on his head, you know, Ace had them put that 10K up, told me to slide, told me to cause you know he got tired of that nigga running his mouth playing all the time, you feel me? So what had to be done, you feel what I'm saying? So I just handled it, you feel me? It was what it is, bro.
Investigators noted Yungeen Ace and Queso were longtime friends and close affiliates from Jacksonville's ATK group. Their relationship was deeply rooted in street and music ties, with them having promising music careers. $10,000 to them is nothing. However, here's where it gets interesting, because right now Queso is currently serving a life sentence for a separate M charge, but he's also now being found guilty for the passing of Adrian Gaynor, otherwise known as Bibby, who was like a little brother to Julio Foolio.
Every day after school, he'll come to me, like, he coming straight to me, we chopping it up, we speaking, like, you know, just regular shit. They walk in the house, we dap each other. I'm like, what's up, little bro, what you been on? Like, he telling me I went to school, big bro, and guess what school he was going to? I'm like, look, bro, I love you, bro, be safe, you know? And that's how it always ends, like, with so many people with me, like, they last word with me be, I love you, be safe. You know what I'm saying?
This is where the Queso connection to Julio Foolio comes in. It's important to watch Foolio's facial features when DJ Vlad mentions Queso's name for being arrested for the passing of Bibby.
There was a rapper named K-Sue.
Yeah.
Who basically was posting videos bragging about, you know, different KTA members, or I mean, whatever you want to call it, and he talking about f***ing Bibby.
Yeah.
And he actually got arrested for a Bibby.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I don't know why you would commit a murder and then go on the internet and brag about it. It just makes absolutely no sense.
But what you likely didn't know, right before the Foolio trial started, Queso would end up pleading guilty in the passing of Bibby, aka Foolio's younger brother.
Jacksonville rapper Hakeem Robinson, also known as Queso, pleaded guilty to the of Adrian Gaynor Jr., who many people knew as Lil Baby. That guilty plea came during a pre-trial hearing Monday, and the judge sentenced him to 10 years in prison for second-degree.
With everything now connecting, confirming in the end that Yungeen Ace and Queso wanted to get anyone affiliated with Foolio dealt with, one viral reply read, "Am I the only one who thinks Queso and Yungeen Ace wanted Foolio gone as soon as possible before Foolio got the chance to retaliate for what they did to his little bro?" Because Jacksonville police also think the exact same thing. It would be shared not too much later on the news. Jacksonville Sheriff TK Waters sends a PSA to Yungeen Ace and his crew after Foolio's hitters were caught.
So Yungeen Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring those groups. We have people that are always watching them. I won't speak to the chief's investigation. That's up to TPD. We don't have an investigation on him right now. But he can't move around in Jacksonville without us knowing about it. And that's for the betterment of our community.
Now understanding all of the connections in the Foolio passing, this is where you start to learn the truth, because in the new Foolio file shared in trial today, there was a live stream from Yungeen Ace with his mother on the day after Foolio passed, literally laughing at him.
These are my best friends.
Hey, chat, y'all know what's going on though. Y'all stop playing with us. Talib, you ain't for the churches, but you know what the fuck going on, boy. For get on your boy.
And we want to get that down. Foodio, Ludio, whatever.
Cheers. This is why DJ Academics even asked Yungeen Ace during an interview who set up Foolio to be dealt with, but watch how he answers it. Comment down below who you think is responsible.
I mean, some people feel like you were behind that.
I'm sure, but people feel like I'm behind a lot, but I'm not. I'm not behind. I'm working. I'm grinding every day. I'm grinding. I got a family. I'm working. I'm grinding. I'm trying to be big. I'm trying to be big.
However, the feds know exactly who did it and who put up the money for Foolio to be dealt with, so to truly understand, it's important to read the actual evidence file. It reads, Foolio, born June 21st, 1998, was involved in an ambushing by rival street members Sunday morning in Tampa. What was supposed to be his celebration weekend for his birthday ended up turning into the worst thing imaginable due to social media. Foolio and his crew rented an Airbnb for the weekend, but once arriving, Foolio would post this to his Instagram story, telling everyone to come through.
Hey, the pool party start today at 5, 6 o'clock. If you already got the address, pull up, man. You got the address, pull up. If you need the address, DM me right now. The pool party start at 5, 6 o'clock. DM me for the address or DM Foolio booking ESPN. I'm gonna put it right here. We just got here, bruh. You got to add it. You got to add it, man. Push up. We just got to this bit. Tampa, Florida, man. You already got to add it to the pool party. Push up at 5:30, man. Push up at 5:30, man. We finna get everything right. Push up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, man.
The party inside of the Airbnb only lasted around 2 hours, but telling everybody to come through was the first mistake of many that he made on this night. An hour later, police arrived to the Airbnb, calling the landlord of the home, who would then eventually kick Foolio and his crew out of the crib. However, Foolio once again went to his Instagram, posting his next move. This would be none other than a poster for a nearby club, telling everybody to pull up while revealing the literal address of the club on the poster. Trying to break the record on social media for most location drops to his ops in one weekend, Foolio would then arrive to the club, but this time telling everyone exactly where he is sitting, making it known he's going to the upstairs lounge.
We came deep for my birthday, man. Everybody coming up the stairs. No cap, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We deep as 20 deep. Lit everywhere we go.
Telling his millions of followers where he is sitting with an exact address, it gave his ops plenty of time to get together and scope out the scene of where he is. Taking action on the 23rd day of the month was very important to one specific person, but more on that later, because when Foolio and his crew were done at the club, they would all gather in the parking lot while his manager had to figure out a new place to stay. He scoped out a nearby Holiday Inn just down the street, and they all began driving down. When arriving to the Holiday Inn, sources claim everything was quiet. This was, however, until 2 cars would block the exit, with members then hopping out of the vehicle with firearms and using them. Meanwhile, there was 3 people who hopped nearby bushes who had one job of finding Foolio and doing the crime.
At 4:38, 3 cars exit a vehicle and walked in the direction of the hotel. They murdered Jones with a handgun and 2. This barrage of fire also struck 3 additional victims who miraculously survived this incident. Let's look at this video. This is at the hotel, and you can see the shooters are getting in position for their planned out.
During the Foolio trial, his own cousin explained the never-before-heard actions while Foolio was targeted. It reads, Foolio's cousin, who was in the car with him when it happened, couldn't stop his tears while describing his final moments.
So you fell asleep after that, after he came back to the car, or you started dozing?
Yes.
Can you just tell the jurors what you saw inside of the car at that point? You said you saw Julio laid out.
Yeah, first thing I saw was Julio laid up. I thought it was a car accident until I looked up, saw the hooves, and I saw Jacob yelling.
Okay, so you thought it was a car accident, and then you looked up, saw the holes, and you saw Zay. Is that Xavier Edwards?
Yes.
You saw him covered in.
Yes.
Okay, so he wanted you to look at his head because he thought he had been hit, and then when you tried to do that, you saw the in your arm.
Yes.
Where were you?
Like on my.
Okay.
Close to my shoulder.
Do you still have a scar from that? Okay. Do you recognize that as Charles Jones' black Charger?
Yes.
Okay. You okay?
I'm good.
You sure?
Yes.
Do you recognize the photograph?
Yes.
However, within 2 hours, fans already knew who was responsible because the news wrote, Yungeen Ace just dropped Do It, a direct diss track at Julio after his passing earlier today. Meanwhile, Yungeen Ace's right-hand man shared this to his Instagram story, an old tweet from King Von reading, "We won, game over, stupid." In Yungeen Ace's song Do It, he literally remixed Julio's lyrics in his song When I See You. Julio rapped, "Went out to eat on his birthday, 4 hit, 3 passed in the worst way. They kept dissing on me, now we're hitting 23. Meanwhile, Yungeen Ace rapped on Julio, who passed away on the 23rd day of the month, 4 in the car, 1 of them gone, 3 got hit. However, Yungeen Ace wasn't done just yet. The news wrote, Julio's mom says she was targeted 8 times and allegedly named Yungeen Ace as the culprit.
So now she's a mother. She's not involved. She was a nurse or whatever the case is. This is what I hear. She got 8 times. The police showed up and asked her, "Hey, ma'am, who shot you?" Guess who she allegedly said shot her? Allegedly, she said, "I got shot by Yungeen Ace." Yungeen Ace was on some type of supervised release at the time. Police go, I guess his probation officer say, "Yo, you got to come in now," and they're about to lock up Yungeen Ace for Julio's mom.
With the entire situation raising one important question of, why did Julio post his location several times in one night? Investigators believe they found the reason why, which started with an interview where Julio spoke on the beef in Jacksonville, where he revealed there was supposed to be a song made with both groups stopping the crime against each other.
No record. Y'all probably didn't know this. Even though I said what I said, bro. Me and J.Dot Breeze supposed to be doing a Stop the Violence song. We probably gonna get that shit in motion. So I'm gonna just get that shit out of the way for the kids, for the youth and stuff. And yeah, we gotta make this look better, man.
You and J.Dot Breezy have a Stop the Violence record coming.
Yeah, that shit, it's talked about. I DM'd about it. My big cousin wrote about it too. He said he with it, I'm with it. But basically right now we trying to find a beat.
According to police files, they have evidence proving that ATK pretended to drop the beef with Julio so then he would let his guard down, which he definitely did by posting 40 IG stories in one night, thinking that he was safe while on his birthday. However, Suge Knight and Diddy, while they're already behind bars as of right now, they are about to face an even longer sentence after new evidence in Tupac's case reveals their involvement, as the man named Keefy D, who was hired to do the crime against Tupac, is going to be talking.
Which of those 4 is it when you talk to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them. As you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
Investigators just announced 3 names who played parts in Tupac's passing, which immediately came with Tupac's family going after them. The news wrote today, the family of Tupac Shakur has filed a new wrongful passing lawsuit against the man charged with the rap icon's passing. While also reading from Tupac's family, many individuals who were involved have long since passed away, while others have been hard to identify. The complaint reads, yet one thing is certain, there remains to be individuals who were involved in Tupac's passing who for 30 years have not been held accountable for their crime. As of right now, Keefy D is the only one charged with first degree at Tupac, but there will be more coming, as Keefy D did an interview literally admitting to the crime right before being arrested.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light. He was going to go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window.
He's hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac.
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
But here's where it gets interesting, as Keefe D was hired to do the job. Investigators wrote, former LAPD cop claims Diddy had Tupac dealt with for $1 million. Suge Knight retaliated by having Biggie dealt with, as Diddy hired Keefe D to get Tupac. But what many don't know is on the night Tupac passed, Keefe D did an interview with police.
On all four of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those four is it when you talk to him about Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
However, this is only the beginning. Along with the newly released Tupac files coming to light, fan reactions read, the new Tupac files are making me question everything. Why is there evidence of Snoop Dogg knowing Tupac was going to be targeted, Suge Knight wanting Tupac gone so he couldn't leave the record label, and even Diddy paying for the hit? He needed new friends. The new evidence file highlight 3 names of Suge Knight, Diddy, and Keefe D. Here's each of their files, starting out with Suge Knight. Words from Tupac's own father read, Tupac's biological father says if he would have been a better father, Tupac would have been alive today. He never would have trusted Suge Knight, but because he wasn't there, he looked at Suge like a father figure, saying, quote, Suge stole all of his money.
With Suge Knight. Right. This motherfucker, I feel so bad. I gotta live the rest of my life realizing that maybe if I was a better father, he might not have gotten in that situation. He might have had enough wisdom to know that this motherfucker is nothing but a scoundrel. But he looked up to him like a father. Then to find out a year, 8 months later, that he's cheating him out of all of his money, that's the final betrayal.
Suge Knight's name is mentioned a lot across the Tupac files. Police highlighted ever since day one, Suge's side of the story has been different every time that he is asked about Tupac, raising the question of why did Tupac happen to have no security on the night that he passed, when it is highlighted in Tupac's record label contract, he'll be provided 24/7 security whenever going out to events or just outside, because Suge Knight comes from a security background.
First of all, you seen what happened. Suge understands who he's dealing with, or what that just happened with, right?
Yeah.
I would have off the top shut my artist down. And if I would have shut him down, I would have moved him in a way to where could nobody get to him. Suge, you know what you doing, though, dude. Like, it ain't no security on it.
But also on the night Tupac passed, Suge Knight said, quote, when I left that hospital, me and Tupac were laughing and joking. I don't see how someone can turn from doing so well to doing bad.
I mean, when I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I would say this, Pac, you never know.
But what's weird about it is Tupac was supposedly in a very deep sleep when arriving to the hospital, according to police records. So how in the world would he and Suge be laughing if Tupac was unconscious? However, in Suge Knight's file in the passing of Tupac's case, they really highlighted the point of Suge being responsible for security. This is because Suge Knight knew Tupac wasn't truly about the life that he portrayed. According to police records, they noted a quote from a famous writer named Jeff Pearlman. He wrote the Tupac biography where he claimed Tupac wasn't as tough as he portrayed and he was just playing a role.
Because he died because all these guys sold him this lifestyle idea, but he wasn't it. He couldn't fight. He had no athleticism. He didn't know how to shoot. He wasn't that guy, but he started to believe it.
He method acted it.
100% method acted it.
This made investigators believe that Suge Knight could have set Tupac up to be dealt with. Investigators noted Suge Knight knew 2 things. He knew Tupac wasn't truly about that life, but also because he owned the record label, he knew Tupac's record deal was set to expire within the coming months and that Tupac wasn't going to re-sign. The detective wrote, Detective Russell Poole suspected Suge Knight arranged Tupac's passing before he could exit the label. He then framed the rival Crips to throw off investigators, raising one important question: who is a famous Crip member that Tupac was close with? This would be none other other than Snoop Dogg. The Snoop Dogg file, they found even more evidence. They noted that there's an interview where Snoop Dogg mentions he was supposed to be in the BMW with Tupac on the night that he passed.
With Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac, I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA.
But suddenly, after last-minute changes, Snoop didn't end up going. Snoop Dogg was heavily tapped into the streets during the 1990s to early 2000s, making some believe Snoop Dogg could have received a tip that Tupac was gonna be targeted on this night. But there was also another reason. Snoop Dogg, Tupac, and Suge Knight had an altercation just a few days prior to the incident.
The last time me and Tupac was on the same page, and I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me, how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I told her that I like their music and I want to do music with them. Bro didn't like that, Tupac didn't like that, so we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to, prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't.
The feds even found another interview where Snoop claimed 2 days before Tupac passed, he felt like Tupac hated him.
I say a week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York, and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of, and I forgave him. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I want to do some music with them. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like tried to kill me, out at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with it. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked his music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. This video footage of all of us hanging out.
However, nothing compares to Diddy's file in the passing of Tupac. Not only did it surprise detectives, but also many of Tupac's friends. The feds claimed in his file that Diddy planned the entire crime, then used his powers with the media to confuse the entire truth, and it worked. The case took 3 decades to solve, which is why 50 Cent even took it into his own hands to get it done. It reads, 50 Cent says it's not over. More unreleased Diddy footage that didn't make his Netflix documentary is coming to YouTube, including footage about how Diddy started a family with Tupac's ex-girlfriend. Diddy has a daughter named Chance Combs with Sarah Chapman in 2006. She famously dated Tupac in 1995, revealing Diddy wanted Tupac gone because he wanted to be Tupac.
Tupac was a shining example of everything that Diddy wanted to be, and he was that naturally. He was charismatic, he was sought after, desired, he was very well liked and a naturally likable person. He was charming, he actually had intrinsic talent, he was a star. He was what Diddy tried to force his way into becoming. Diddy, through force, through manipulation, through fear-mongering, tried to become loved and adored and liked, but all he could manage is like a twisted clone of that he was able to garner through fear. But back to my original point, he thought he triumphed over Tupac by when actually what he did was make Tupac immortal. And by Diddy continuing to live and earn more wealth and, in his mind, earn more adoration, he thought he triumphed. He thought he won overall.
There's even evidence backing this from November 18th, 1995, when Tupac was photographed with Sean Diddy Combs' baby mama, Sarah Chapman, where Tupac was seen dating her first. But at the time, Diddy described Sarah as being the one, being his dream girl. So when she got with Tupac, Diddy didn't like it. This resulted in his first attempt at getting Tupac, which was swept under the rug by police.
I believe so. I do believe so. I have proved things that I could say that will back up my claim, but this is not for the world to know about. You know what I mean? It's between me and him, and only he knows. So every time he say it didn't happen, or that's the only thing that makes this become an issue to everybody. I was acting. Who gets shot 5 times in acts? Oh, I didn't get shot 5 times in A vision. I only got shot once because they found the bug. The police found him, but now they the cops. Now they doing detective work.
But with Diddy's first attempt being a failure, Diddy knew that he would have to end up dealing with everyone asking him about it in interviews, such as this very awkward one on The Breakfast Club.
Now, it was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there, with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because you listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody? But no, you do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Even during the Diddy trial, he was questioned about his involvement. The news wrote, Diddy faces questions about his alleged role in Tupac's passing after being mentioned 77 times in a new legal filing, which all came from Keefy D, the hired hitman of the crime, where he even said this was Diddy's wish and it was even easier than he thought it would be. With 3 big names in the rap industry having a connection to the passing of Tupac, to understand who's truly at fault, the feds broke it down on the last page of the new Tupac files, which reads, quote, on September 7th, 1996, Tupac was in Las Vegas with the head of his record label, Suge Knight. The two were off to the MGM Grand to watch a Mike Tyson match, and after it was over, they spotted an op in the lobby of the hotel while trying to leave.
Suge Knight and their entourage went to the Mike Tyson at the MGM Grand. Keefy D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and 2 of their friends were also there. Keefy D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and beat him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
Security broke up the altercation between Tupac, Suge, and the ops, but it also resulted in Tupac and Suge needing to go back to their hotel to change their clothes, which was a major turning point in the night. The two went off to a club to go party it up at around 11 p.m. Hopping in Tupac's black BMW, Suge Knight would be driving the car while Tupac was in the passenger. While driving down the Las Vegas Strip, the music was very loud in the BMW, windows down, and even Tupac hanging out of the window, bringing in a lot of attention from those on the strip. Then once they were stopped at a red light, the situation occurred.
Knew about Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keef D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
Back then, there was no security cameras and no witnesses somehow who was able to identify who did the crime. However, the police had a hunch due to those who were in the Las Vegas area. They would bring in Keefy D for an interrogation on that night. However, they just let him go like nothing even happened.
Lane starts. You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you?
Yeah, he looks at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then, Tupac's busy getting evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out of the line.
back seat or something.
Yeah, what do you see happening inside of their car?
I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando across Dre?
He leaned over on the window, we rolled down the window.
But this is where the entire story changes. With no arrests being made in 3 decades of the crime, we would start seeing interviews by Keefy D on DJ Vlad's show. Keefy D would explain that the entire crime going down occurred so fast because Tupac was originally the one reaching for a firearm first.
You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually?
No, once he got the reaching, I got the ducking.
So someone from your car
That's what happened.
started. at Tupac and Suge.
The Tupac case was cold for over 2 decades. No evidence being found, nothing. Keefe D randomly starts doing interviews saying exactly how the crime went down that the police don't even know. It hit their radar and he would be quickly arrested. But not before doing other interviews, where Keefe D would react to Tupac passing, showing his true emotions.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog. You know, I really do, man. Cause it took a lot of people's lives, dude. I hate that happened. Probably to God. I feel that was wrong, man. It was just purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it had never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. It never happened, dude.
However, YNW Melly just went through an interesting week after being told he's about to be freed from jail at his latest bond hearing to now being sent right back behind bars. The reasoning as to why will surprise you.
I think his bond should have been considered before this.
It really made me cry because I don't see how you could treat anybody like that.
The judge finally made his decision on YNW Melly's bond request to be released from his inhumane jail conditions. With the court hearing beginning with the statement, BSO officer admits that YNW Melly's cell has been searched every day during his 7-year detainment. No items or contraband have ever been found. Since 2019, the BSO officer admits there has never been a single time that YNW Melly had an altercation. BSO officer admits that YNW Melly has not spoken to any family members in 6 years. After court, YNW Melly's mother even further explained about how they are treating him inside a lockup.
And I know people didn't believe me when I was saying just how horrible they were treating him, but to hear it come out of that BSO officer's mouth, it really brought it home, and it hurt. Like, it really made me cry because I don't see how you could treat anybody like that. It's innocent to proven guilty, but they are treating him worse than anybody I've ever heard of. The doctor even said he's never heard of someone being kept up underneath such seclusion and such harsh conditions. I just want him to be able to at least come home.
What many don't even know is Jamie King exposed the county jail over a year ago about Melly's jail situation, but nobody listened, which is a clear indication that something is flawed in the court system.
When you saw Melly's statement, just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
If it wasn't bad enough, next in court read, Norman says that no person should ever go more than 15 days in isolation. Mentions the Nelson Mandela Act that was passed in 2015. Norman, a psychiatrist, says that YNW Melly's jail conditions, and admits that he has never even spoken to him. He has never seen anyone in a similar isolation for such a lengthy amount of time, saying, quote, "I don't know if I've ever heard of anyone with 7 years of isolation." Norman compares YNW Melly's conditions to the film Castaway, starring Tom Hanks. Norman says Melly's adolescent brain, while detained for 7 years, could be damaging. Brains don't fully develop its frontal cortex in adults until age 24 to 25. Melly's isolation will have long-term consequences, meaning what he has gone through in the last 7 years is going to affect him for the rest of his life. You would think hearing this, they would want YNW Melly freed from jail right away. But right before the judge made his decision, Melly's team even announced YNW Melly's team has already set up a house for him with a pool and a music studio, where he would be able to freely make music if he is granted a bond. He wouldn't have to leave it until trial next year, where even the famous lawyer Bradford Cohen explained his release details.
So Melly had a bond hearing today, and it's still ongoing. I believe it's 2 o'clock. I think it started at 10. It's almost like a mini trial where they're putting on individuals, and they're doing a really nice job with crossing individuals, putting on individuals about confinement and what it does to a person's psyche. He's been in, I don't know, going on 8 years, I believe. I think I was hired on this case originally. I think his bond should have been considered before this. Also, this case really, in my opinion, should have been a speedy trial in the first 6 to 8 months of the case, but that's spilt milk at this point.
But sadly, YNW Melly would be denied his bond. No Jumper wrote, YNW Melly's attorney, Drew Finling, has issued a statement on Melly's behalf following Judge Martin Feen's decision to once again deny bond after an Arthur hearing held on April 30th. Melly's lawyer, Drew Finling, would react for Melly on his behalf with this statement reading, "The court, the state attorney's office, and all who observed this bond hearing should have been deeply troubled by the clear evidence presented regarding the inhumane conditions Melly has endured over the last 7 years, with the last 3 in solitary confinement, while being presumed innocent under our Constitution, yet the court denied bond and allowed those conditions to continue without even acknowledging the circumstances under which he has been forced to live in. The irony is, in the last few days, the nation saw a United States judge apologize to an individual accused of an attempted target of our leader for his days in solitary confinement, and not a word by this court regarding the last 3 years. In the collective decades of experience shared by this defense team, we have never encountered such cruel treatment comparable to what Melly has endured. Numerous colleagues across the legal community have expressed their disbelief and outrage at the conditions imposed in this case. YNW Melly remains an innocent man in the eyes of the law, but the state failed to secure a conviction once, and we will remain confident they will fail again. Unfortunately, it now appears that only a jury's verdict compelling his release will bring an end to the years of unnecessary and unjust punishment that he has already suffered. With this going viral online, Charleston White's official reaction would be shared. He claimed this is what YNW Melly should be living like, and he shouldn't receive special treatment because he's a famous rapper.
The YNW Melly, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated. Yeah, I'm so happy he in jail getting mistreated, homie. Homie, when you take a life, homie, you ain't got a right to complain about a motherfucking thing about being mistreated when you done chose to play somebody.
However, the courtroom would explain why YNW Melly's bond was denied. You tell me if it sounds reasonable after hearing it all, starting with, quote, state prosecutor points to Judge Martin Feen's mention of YNW Melly being seen getting into the vehicle. She adds that Melly is seen getting into the seat where the alleged hitter was sitting in. She also mentions the cellular data that allegedly puts him at the scene of the crime. Then says, quote, we know Cortland Henry wasn't the hitter, the defendant was, where she would then point towards YNW Melly, then sharing footage of Melly getting into the back left seat.
Excuse me, you're able to see? Yes, all right.
While also sharing footage of YNW Juvie's mother, confirming that it was Melly who went and sat there, as she has known all 4 YNW boys for over a decade.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury? Leon Phillips. Okay. And are you related to one of the kids in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
While other investigators believe Melly was denied bond due to him having text messages on his phone of him literally admitting to doing the crime.
The PT Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, I did that, and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly count says what?
After that, SHHHH.
There was also footage of YNW Melly dancing in a parking lot with Bortland only 5 hours after the crime took place, recording a music video.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
With even rumors of the motive for YNW Melly to commit the crime being revealed, where he allegedly asked King Von for advice on how to handle somebody, with this secret being exposed by an ex-O Block member.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? Walter Bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
However, YNW Melly does have one chance of submitting an appeal for a bond release, and they have leverage to do so due to what YNW Bortland did on the night of the crime. This will help Melly receive a release date before trial, but to understand when, it's important to know what Bortland did. It reads, on October 26, Cortland Henry arrived at Memorial Hospital emergency room requesting help for 2 passengers in his car being juvie and sack chaser. Henry was questioned at the hospital by Detective Moretti. He recounted to Detective Moretti a version of events. Henry was then taken to where he claimed the events happened and then answered more questions. Bortland's interrogation on the night of the crime, he was lying to police. Even the police knew that he was lying and exposed him for it.
Here's the hard part where we're having a hard time to understand is that we shut down that entire area and we had officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as one shell casing. They didn't find one piece of glass, nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's the class.
I mean, for whatever reason, your 2 friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These my like,
these your 2, I'm assuming close friends.
Yeah, we got.
And you're doing them an in-service by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. I don't like. How? What do you want?
How do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
It continues reading, when Henry came into the emergency room, he told officers his car and friends had just been hit up. The officer called for additional law enforcement as she spoke further with Henry. He told her that he just left the studio with his friends. He then stopped at a traffic light when a car pulled up and started using firearms at his car. Henry said he ducked and drove forward, where he would even double down on that during his interrogation.
Okay, tell me what happened.
Man, I was playing music, getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy, almost home, you know what I'm saying? And like, just out of nowhere, like, I just heard, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car, and I almost crashed the car.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75.
Yeah.
Then you took 75 south?
The police officer would then want details of the in-the-moment actions made by YNW Bortland. Did he see the other car? Did he see a license plate? How was he driving? And did he crash into anything?
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about some shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's gotta be some evidence there. There's gonna be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here from when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's gonna be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's gonna be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's gonna be evidence over there. Okay, right now, there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened, because I got information.
Where YNW Bortland was clearly lying the entire time to the feds, as Melly's lawyers now want everything to do with Bortland thrown out of the trial because everything he provided was lies, and how are they supposed to defend Melly from the truth and Bortland's lies at the exact same time? The news read, lawyer argues admitting Bortland's statements violates Melly's Sixth Amendment rights to confront. He claims asserting Henry's alleged lies or guilt do not prove Melly's involvement and could bias a jury. His lawyer claims Bortland told police a drive-by occurred after leaving the studio, but investigators found no evidence supporting his account. He explained that Bortland was later charged with M, then pleaded no contest to accessory charges after his M counts were dropped. This puts YNW Melly in a very bad situation because YNW Bortland was given a plea deal to basically get out of the entire court case. Meanwhile, he was always doing very strange things within the case, just like what was found inside of his home.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortland was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortland, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Dimmons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortland allegedly tampered with the witness.
Melly's lawyers are questioning why Bortland got off so easy when Bortland has been strange the entire time. It was announced by Bryson Paul. Here are the images of alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortland's home, where Bortland detailed where certain jurors were sitting during the original Melly trial and a description of what they looked like. Because Bortland showed up to the Melly trial for one day to get his own hearing set up, but while doing so, he left a mental note of where all the jurors were sitting and a description of what they looked like, went home and drew out all of it on a piece of paper, making it appear as if these jurors found his best friend guilty. Bortland was gonna go slide for Melly.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortland, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Holy sh! Like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
Raising the question of why did Bortland get a plea deal out of the case? Meanwhile, Melly isn't even allowed to go on house arrest until the trial begins. However, the concerning part for YNW Melly is Bortland's plea deal will likely sentence Melly to life in prison. It reads, as predicted, YNW Bortland took the plea deal. He also agreed to a proffer, which means that he's talking. The sentence is to accessory after the fact. He will do 10 years plus 6 on probation, where academics wrote, the judge says on both charges Bortland pled no contest. To that, he has to provide a factual basis for him to accept the plea, meaning you have to tell a factual story of how you indeed committed accessory to the crime, confirming that it happened, which YNW Melly is charged with. It's a gonna plea, except with the proffer, he can't say yes ma'am, he has to sing like Franklin.
I did tweet out today, people were upset. I said, this is a gonna plea. This is a gonna plea. This isn't a plea saying you have to tell on him, but this is a plea that you're going to have to provide all the details that they were missing to convict him. And that's why it's a gonna plea. Why do I say he signed a gonna plea? Because YNW Melly, and I watched the case, we covered it. YNW Melly's case is that, number one, you guys have not done a job to prove that this is actually they have proved, but prove that this is a homicide with this person being the offender. Also, the accessory after the fact plea confirms that Bortland, that's kind of like almost like a sub part of a conspiracy, except you weren't with the conspiracy at first. You came in after the fact. What that proved is that they came in. Oh my God, my dog's crying. What that proved is that Bortland worked with someone after he acknowledged that a took place in trying to cover it up. You hear what I just said? When pleading to an accessory to after the fact, you have to acknowledge that the happened and you assisted someone or in some way to cover the. Now, if Melly's statement is, how do we know? And then secondly, how do we know who did? because they said it was a drive-by.
An easier way to understand Academics' messages, Portland will be required to tell how the crime went down from his perspective, somebody inside of the car, regardless if he says YNW Melly's name or not. When he tells police Sack Chaser and Juvie passed from a situation inside of the car, Melly will then be found guilty as a result.
He will be flipping. He is going to be tell-all about anything he knows about the double case, and they will know if he's telling the truth or telling a lie when he gives his full quote-unquote confession as to what happened that evening. And that's what happens a lot of times, where guys are in prison for 4 or 5 years awaiting trial and looking at a life sentence, and they're offered 10 years where they'll be home probably in another 3 years that he'll serve. He decides to flip and become a cheese eater. And that's what happens a lot of times on these cases. And I was expecting it to happen a lot sooner than it did. He held out for quite some time. But long story short is it looks like he's going to flip. And it makes the case on YNW Melly, depending on what he says, which I anticipate he'll say that YNW Melly is responsible.
However, K-Flock has been given a new release date while being behind bars. This is due to a successful appeal that him and his lawyers sent in, trying to lower his sentence.
Talk to them, my doc. Soon come home, man.
We consider that to be self-defense.
The K-Flock release date was just updated inside court today after his lawyers submitted appeals. The news wrote, K-Flock's booking info now shows a new release date, even with a famous New York jeweler tweeting, K-Flock has a chain waiting for him when he touches down. Only a matter of time for the GOAT to return to the city, alongside footage of his new VVS diamond chain waiting for him at the New York jeweler. But to understand the new release date, it's important to know what just happened. It reads, New York City rapper K-Flock had a court update today with his lawyers submitting new paperwork against his 5 guilty charges. If successful, the rapper will have a new release date from prison, which resulted in K-Flock himself speaking out for the first time to the public, as all of his appeals were just accepted.
Flock here, been a lot of talk about the trial. I just want to set the record straight though, make my first official statement about it. I want to give thanks to everybody who supported me and kept me in their prayers. I want to thank everyone who was involved in my trial, especially the judge who made sure I was treated with respect throughout the process. I have to thank my lawyer, Michael Ashley, no cap, for not giving up on me and putting up a fight, even though we still fighting because it ain't over till Allah says it's over. I want to thank every one of my fans and supporters. I love y'all, everything to the chin, nothing to the heart. And my spirits and faith is high as they ever been, and I pray everyone out there is at peace and feel positive too.
As K-Flock's lawyers were able to use him being found not guilty of M charges as leverage against the other 5. Coming from a statement reading, K-Flock was found not guilty of M charges, but guilty of 5 other charges, including possession and RICO. With his lawyer making the statement, the M charge was the most concerning. Unfortunately, K-Flock was sentenced for the other 5 charges in December, when the judge would sentence K-Flock to 25 years inside of prison, but his lawyers were able to appeal, and they were accepted today. His lawyers claim the sentence was excessive for the part that he played in the RICO and the other charges, with the biggest win for K-Flock is that he doesn't have to appeal against the M charge because he already beat that case. It was followed up with a report from the courtroom. The prosecutors put in a letter saying it could be misunderstood to mean the jury must determine whether the defendant, with his idiosyncrasies, believed Oscar Hernandez was about to use physical force against him. The main reason why they are taking in K-Flock's idiosyncrasies is very important, and it's actually the reason why his new release date is a lot sooner than his last one. They're taking into account that K-Flock lived a much different life than the rest of all of us. They're taking into account that K-Flock is known to be living in the streets and was constantly around crime his entire life, which is why K-Flock was so quick to act on Oscar Hernandez, because he saw him reaching, meaning K-Flock wanted to defend himself, which was his natural instinct from just the way that he grew up. With his idiosyncrasies being used in all of his appeals for the other charges, he would end up doing a phone call with Top 5 sounding very confident.
Talk to them, Flock. Talk to them, my doc. Soon come home, man. You got these little boys walking around with no jewels, Flock. They need you. They need you, Flock.
I'm telling you,
With the news of K-Flock submitting his appeals, Bobby also shared his thoughts on the court case.
What's it like for you watching the K-Flock thing happen? That's crazy. Next big artist coming out of New York.
I love Flock, so I like that. That's why I get.
Okay.
But you know, I'm wishing him the best right now. You know what I'm saying? And you know, for the alleged charges they pushing on him, you know what I'm saying, I'm wishing his family the best. I'm wishing the whole team the best and everything. You know what I'm saying? And I hope he beat them alleged charges. You know what I'm saying? Because he got a lot of future brightness. He got. And I hope. You know what I'm saying?
That would be a sad story if that's the end of it.
But this is where something very strange happened. After his lawyers submitted the appeals, it was revealed the only reason K-Flock got the extra charges of RICO was because he was snitched on by one of his own members. It reads, K-Flock reportedly used a firearm against someone who used one against his friend in 2020. Today, that friend testified against him, with the snitch's name being Brockington, otherwise known on the street as Dougie, but not to be confused with K-Flock's best friend Dougie B. It's a different guy. However, Dougie was arrested for selling, and he took a plea deal to throw K-Flock under the rug so then he would be released from prison. Dougie testified that he was hit by one person, then his best friend at the time, K-Flock, came to his defense and got the guy back with his own firearm. K-Flock defended Dougie just for him to turn around and snitch on him years later. Dougie would end up showing up in court, with the prosecutors not wanting the judge to accept his appeals. The prosecutor would ask Dougie, after you got hit, who called you into the hospital? Dougie answered, KK called. He said, you know we got you, bro. The prosecutors then confirmed KK is K-Flock and continue with Dougie saying, quote, yes, and he was gonna retaliate against whoever hit me. The prosecutors then would ask him to admit it by asking, quote, Flock hit him up in retaliation for you. Dougie said yes, and that somebody got grazed during the altercation. Dougie continued saying how K-Flock had a firearm on him, and he was on a call with rival street members who were circling their block before it occurred. This is why tensions were so high for K-Flock whenever he was walking around the streets in New York, circling back to his idiosyncrasies. This would end up getting reactions from his best friend B-Love.
Okay, but so I saw some fans who were off at both me and academics after K-Flock got locked up. In our tone when we talked about it, you know, it might have seemed like we were being a little too presumptuous. But is that weird for you? Because I'm sure you see people all the way from rappers to whoever acting like, you know, your boy is just done and he's cooked in this situation.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, people, especially people that don't even be knowing, like, y'all don't even know what's going on, bro.
Yeah. But this is where Dougie really went against K-Flock. Knowing K-Flock beat the case for Oscar Hernandez passing, he would end up snitching even more evidence that made K-Flock look even guilty again, hoping they reopen the case. And if they do, there's a high probability of K-Flock being sentenced to life in prison for it. Here's all the never-before-heard information provided by Dougie. On the day of December 23rd, 2021, K-Flock was seen walking down the sidewalk with an individual. He's seen wearing a blue coat, shiesty mask, and designer jeans. He was out on a long walk on this day, while doing so on Instagram Live, yelling at ops who are literally just a few blocks away. But once he got off Instagram Live, put his phone back in his pocket, K-Flock was seen walking past a barbershop. Oscar Hernandez, waiting for a haircut, recognized him from the inside. He was quick to run out of the barbershop and yell at K-Flock saying, quote, what are you looking at? As Oscar didn't want K-Flock wandering around his block because the two had a history with each other. Flock responded back, and they began yelling back and forth at each other, getting the attention of those driving by and even walking by. But K-Flock, he continued to then walk off. Oscar continued following him, yelling at him. Rather than backing off and going back to get his haircut, Oscar continued following him, which was the biggest mistake he ever made. Security footage captured Oscar grabbing inside of his jeans pocket. Due to K-Flock's idiosyncrasies, he rightfully believed he was about to pull out a firearm, so instead, K-Flock beat him to it, pulled out his firearm, and used it on Oscar. In an attempt to get away, Oscar tried to return to the barbershop, but fell to the ground. Witnesses were quick to call the cops and paramedics to arrive at the scene trying to save Oscar, but unfortunately it was way too late. Meanwhile, K-Flock began sprinting away, going back to his home. The only things that were left at the scene were Oscar's slides that he was wearing, as well as shell casings from K K-Flock's firearm. The feds would immediately begin their investigation, but they had no idea who was the man with the shiesty on, so they would end up asking the public on social media. They posted the security camera footage online, and it wasn't too long before the feds started to get tips on who the suspect was, because if you remember, K-Flock was on Instagram Live 20 minutes before the altercation with Oscar, flexing the all-designered out outfit that he was wearing on this day. Immediately, those on social media began telling the NYPD that is K-Flock, basically snitching on the biggest rapper in New York at the time. The feds then sent out a warrant for his arrest, and K-Flock was quick to hire one of the best lawyers in the game. Once his lawyer caught wind that Flock had a warrant for his arrest, the two went to the NYPD station together, and K-Flock turned himself in. His lawyer would then release a statement reading, "I accompanied Kevin as he self-surrendered to detectives at the 30th Precinct. Arrangements were immediately made with the NYPD once I learned that he was wanted. Into the charges against him, we begun our own investigation into the allegations. We will address bail once we've had a chance to review the case and further investigate." For not too long after, K-Flock's lawyer went on a public interview telling everyone K-Flock acted in self-defense.
When the guy hits the ground and is found, he's got a loaded that was in his pocket that his hand was on at the time. We consider that to be self-defense.
So he did heat him in self-defense.
That's what the allegation is. I don't want to talk too much about the details of the case,
Okay.
but the government claims that he pulled the... But at the same time, the person that was on the ground had his hand on a illegal loaded...
Okay. So without saying too much, you're arguing obviously self-defense.
That could be one of the arguments, self-defense, and I would say to the public, somebody's walking up to you with a loaded, it's pretty clear is going to use it, with a criminal record a mile long. Do you want to get or do you not want it?
This is when something very interesting occurred, which you never see happen. Because K-Flock's lawyer did a public interview, the NYPD then released a public statement as well, reacting, saying they don't believe it was self-defense. They believed it was two street teams beefing with each other, and two members ran into each other. They connected K-Flock to a longtime affiliation with the Third Side Street team, while also knowing K-Flock was also becoming one of the biggest names in the streets for his music. But fast forward till today, with K-Flock ultimately beating the Oscar case, he was still hit with RICO charges because of Dougie snitching on him. It reads, quote, "K-Flock was indicted by a federal grand jury for multiple new racketeering conspiracy charges, leaving hip-hop creators reacting, saying that it was over for K-Flock. Academics wrote, the feds just unsealed an indictment on K-Flock for a RICO. The mandatory minimum if he doesn't beat those charges or snitch is life in prison. He is still facing state charges that have him locked up as well." With K-Flock's lawyers once again reacting on social media, "We're not surprised by the federal charges, as we've been fighting Kevin's state charges for over a year now. Considering the incident was a clear act of self-defense, it wasn't a strong charge. But the fact that it's now being used as a basis for a penalty charge is extraordinary. It's crystal clear on video that Kevin was about to be affected after attempting to walk away from the other person. Only then did Kevin use an item to defend himself and his sister from the armed team member who was about to use a firearm from out of his pocket." Where investigators not tied to the case admitted, the only reason they gave K-Flock a RICO charge was because they knew K-Flock was going to win the Oscar M charge. But it also goes to show how hard it is to escape the feds when they already have you locked up. Just like Boosie said about the YNW Melly situation.
Now they're putting even more charges on him, and then
when they want you, they want you. I knew they wanted him bad when they waited for that law to get passed. So it'd be 8-4.
Oh, right, yeah.
They waited all the way till that law got passed to take him to trial.
Yeah, he was in jail for what, 2 years, 3 years?
Yeah, they could have been took you to trial.
You're right.
They waited till that law got passed and took him to trial a couple months later. When they want you, man. Just don't see how he didn't get a bond after a fucking mistrial.
Yeah.
That made me like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like, after a mistrial, that
That doesn't happen, really.
However, with the K-Flock release date now being updated in court today to be the date of July 16th, 2047, there was a leaked jail call from him giving a message out to all of his fans as he was very happy about it.
I know what's going on, man. Flock, I know something, man. Like, please mean to the guys, man. Hey, yo, like, I'll be back real soon. Shout out to my fans and my supporters, man. I love all y'all, man. For all of you out there, violence, man. For me, and do what y'all supposed to do, man. For me, get through life correctly, bro. Like, get money, man. Real soon.
Meanwhile, Tay K will be behind bars forever. He was sentenced to 80 years inside a prison for his role in the 2017 passing of a filmer named Mark. He was recording a music video for Tay K, where Tay K ended up wanting his camera equipment, and Mark wanted to defend himself.
You're young, but you're gonna have to make better choices. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going to sentence him to 80 years in the prison, give him credit for any time served.
However, the Atlanta police are now targeting Lil Baby for several crimes that him and his team 4PF have committed. This will result in many years behind bars, as there has been 2 passings that have occurred due to the crimes they've been involved in.
Atlanta police are blaming a local rapper's music video for the deaths of 2 13-year-olds.
They were saying that they had heard that Dominique Jones had tickets on a lot of people's heads.
Of his cowardly actions, and you know who you are.
There's a concerning case being built in the Atlanta court system around the 4PF group involving Lil Baby. The news reads, the Atlanta police have updated their case for the potential 4PF RICO case after nothing added to it for over a year. Expect arrests to be made against 4PF members in the coming weeks, with Lil Baby going down with them, which answers the question of why Lil Baby moved out of Atlanta and is now living in Miami with Young Thug, where DJ Academics revealed the 2 of them became the Bonnie and Clyde of hip-hop.
Young Thug and Lil Baby, they're the new Bonnie and Clyde. I don't know what type of love affair this is, but these hooligans have now moved from Atlanta to Miami, and they're condo thugging. I'm being honest. They're running around with a bunch of rent-a-goons. Lil Baby, I was on the phone with you. I said 4PF is like I said, is like I said Beetlejuice. Like you were about to jump out of your skin. You clearly never wanted to catch a RICO in Atlanta, in Fulton County, and nobody's saying you should.
Whether it's Lil Baby's way of having last-minute fun before being arrested, or just how he acts when he's around Young Thug, the RICO case in Atlanta is still coming.
I'm gonna tell you some things that you're gonna have to take my word or don't believe it. It's fine. I don't care either or. When Fonnie Willis started targeting YSL, Fonnie Willis had a bunch of people to target. She wanted Thug, she got YFN. So she got YSL, YFN. Eventually, they were gonna get to 4PF. That's one of the reasons they changed their names, by the way.
We know this because the feds are building up evidence against Lil Baby rather than arresting those currently committing crimes in 4PF. They don't want the little-time members, they want the leader of the group, Lil Baby.
This is on camera. They know who did it. And I'm gonna tell you this right now. If they don't arrest the person who at this club within 2 weeks, Lil Baby's cooked. I'm gonna tell you why. If they have camera proof of who did the and they don't arrest you, it's because they haven't done the case. So I just want to point this out to you. This is not the 80s. Y'all somebody in a club in an entranceway or hallway where there's cameras. I get it. Everybody done flew back to Atlanta, flew back to wherever the it came from. But if there's not an arrest warrant put out in the next 2 weeks or an arrest made, just remember, this doesn't go away.
With the 4PF RICO case now being reopened, there is 3 main crimes they're highlighting in the evidence file that I'm going to share with you today. In the newly updated 4PF file, the first crime highlighted was with Lil Baby, 4PF, and his crew entering a Super Bowl party, resulting in 1 NFL player being hit. The news reads, Lil Baby is reportedly accused of getting into a dispute with San Francisco 49ers player Keon White, who was hit a short time later. Investigators wrote in the file, on Monday, February 9th, Bay Area news outlet The San Francisco Standard reported on the incident, which occurred during a Super Bowl after party at a nightclub. A witness tells police Lil Baby and his entourage tried to enter Keon White's private section, which resulted in an argument between Lil Baby and Keon. The witness then left the level of the club to notify management when they then heard 2 shots and returned to find Keon White hit in the leg.
It happened early yesterday morning at a nightclub in San Francisco's Mission District. White was hosting a Super Bowl party at Delia Lounge on Mission Street. At some point, White got into an argument involving rapper Lil Baby.
Window is like right by my bed, and so I saw lights. Like I think that's why I woke up at first. I think I kind of knew that it wasn't like the most safe place, but honestly, I mean, like, it kind of seems par for the course. Like, I'm not like entirely like, how could this happen here?
At a very popular nightclub such as this one, there is cameras literally everywhere. The police know exactly who did the crime. However, instead of arresting those in Fort PF for the crime, they would rather build a case around it, then use it with the other 2 cases highlighted in this evidence file as leverage to make sure they can capture Lil Baby. Even one viral reaction read, "Bro, Lil Baby just popped out on some gangster stuff and then hit up an NFL player to prove to us internet geeks that he is still a gangster," which actually ties into the second case highlighted in the evidence file, which goes against DJ Academics. The evidence file begins with news of Academics confirmed that he got slapped by Lil Baby's cameraman K Rich in Miami. Here's a picture of Academics' right-hand man AJ with the police after the situation, showing the altercation was big enough to the point where police arrived to the scene and they created a file on it. Later on that night, investigators found a video of K Rich bragging about getting Academics while on live.
So boom, ain't nothing happened to him. He said something, bro, I swear to God, right hand of God. I smacked the shit. I smacked the right hand of God, bro. I smacked. You smacked Academics? Yes, and then listen, after I smacked him, listen.
Yo, Lil Baby, eat a. I'm not even gonna address it, Lil Baby. You eat a, because I don't know this, and I'm gonna tell you why I'm getting that Lil Baby, because I've been waiting for this. I can't take it out on a I don't know. I'm up tens of millions of dollars. I'm taking it out on this boss. Yo, Lil Baby, if this is what you believe or he believe, both y'all eat it.
Investigators would then find the reason as to why Academics was ran up on by Lil Baby's crew. Reading with the tweet of, DJ Academics claims Lil Baby's camp paid him $30,000 to chill on album criticism, then allegedly backdoored DJ Academics anyway by sending K Rich to swing on him.
The Lil Baby gotta drop his new album. I'm gonna start really getting on business. Yo, Lil Baby, you and your team paid me $30,000 to keep quiet about your motherfucking album. And I sat there and I realized, I said, well, if you pay me $30,000, there ain't no way you sent a come swing on me. Why would you do that? Don't make no sense. $30,000 you could pay for a hit. Why the would you send to come swing on me for pennies and to clean your balls in your drawers and then pay me $30,000? I got the receipts posted just. Why would you pay me afterwards?
But now, since Lil Baby wanted to play games with Academics, he would go on to say they're now gonna have to pay him $300,000 to not speak about Baby's next album.
Yo, Baby, you gonna have to pay me to get off your for this next time. Y'all pay me 30 bands already. The price is now 300 bands. Straight up. The price done went up 300 bands. You have this who you sent. Yo, Lil Baby, stop the bullshit. You sent this to go do this bullshit. When I called you up, you acted like, oh, wait, what happened about? Yo, do you know this K Rich? I call every in Atlanta. You know what they say? But that's his assistant. That's his Wait, he act like he don't know him? Yo, I talked to him. He say, Lord, pay me for your album tonight. Yo, I'm on your forever. Remember that. So listen, I'm only saying this because I think this little K Rich thing, I'm going to go back and forth with him. Let me tell you this, I'm gonna cost your boss $1 million. I did this to the best of them, but I'm gonna do it to him.
It would be this moment when investigators who have been watching Lil Baby then got involved. Because when Academics confronted Lil Baby, he revealed during the altercation, K Rich was claiming this is Fort PF while he was jumping Academics. Where Lil Baby then got nervous on the phone because he knows they are already watching him.
And baby, you gotta respond to I don't make this loud, you gotta respond to this. You're gonna either be pussy or you're gonna stand on it and say, I did backdoor that. So the first thing I said, yo, bro, you know what came up to me? He said some 4 PF. You know the first thing you said? Yo, act, chill, act, man, you on that police. You scared of this 4 PF. I said, yo, nah, baby, like this was. So he's like, Ag, what? You acting dumb.
Where investigators even noted Lil Baby lost a lot of his street cred because he dodged a boxing match with DJ Akademiks after Akademiks told him to catch him in a ring rather than dealing with this in the street.
Sold 34,000 the first week. How the you want 40 million, man? This is delusional, man. Atlanta looking crazy right now, man. Full pocket full of hoes. This is crazy. How you ducking a fade with me? They want 40 million. The nigga's acting like this is Jake. This nigga acting like this is Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fighting. Cause somebody tell, yo, have you seen this? Yo, this can't be serious, bro. Bro, I wouldn't be even asking for that. I thought he was gonna be realistic. I thought Lil Baby is on some like he's gangster. I'm like, I bet. Whatever he get, just give me half. Ain't you a nigga? Y'all should be fighting for fun. You squabble up just cuz. I'm the one that everybody says probably never had a fight. Okay, you're my first fight. You get to knock me out for all this that I taught before and will continue to talk.
With the feds building cases using the NFL Super Bowl incident and Fort PF goons jumping DJ Akademiks, it's the third case that is the most concerning. A case so concerning, they even have wiretaps on Baby's phone. The news read, investigator is on the stand. We are listening to wiretap calls. Someone mentioned that Lil Baby had tickets on some people's head.
Like, come on, bro, you know what's gonna go on. Like, how the hell you can't, you know what I'm saying? They ain't even like that, man. Them got tickets on a lot of these folks, I'm telling you.
We just heard somebody say these folks got tickets on these people. We know what's going on. First of all, who was that said that about the tickets?
Unc, the unidentified male that was being referred to as Unc.
And he's speaking with Mr. Sanders?
Correct.
And what, in your experience, do you know what tickets are?
A price on somebody's head.
What do you mean by what do you mean on somebody's head? What is that?
Like a bounty.
Okay. And who were they referring to in that portion of the call?
They were saying that they had heard that Dominique Jones had tickets on a lot of people's heads.
Dominique Jones had wanted to have people harmed.
Correct.
This means Lil Baby had placed money on people's heads to have them dealt with, very similar to Lil Durk's M for Hire. As Akademiks even explained, the city of Atlanta is getting ready to pursue Fort PF and Lil Baby on these charges.
He's an Atlanta journalist, certified. He's really good. He's came out and he said that the Atlanta Public Defenders, so the unit that specializes on gang cases, says the office is actively preparing for a racketeering indictment on the 4PF and OMF case. Now I don't know what OMF is, and that he expects Lil Baby to be indicted.
The entire internet would then go into a frenzy. It even got the attention of Young Thug, who would be mentioned in the file because he tweeted, "Biggest liar in the DA office, exposing what Marissa looks like while calling her a liar." DJ Akademiks would further explain Marissa's involvement on trying to lock up Lil Baby, as she is the same DA who had the wiretap on Lil Baby's phone.
What Young Thug did to have and this is how you know this 4PF is real. Young Thug posted the woman. This is Marissa Vivierdo. He posted her, okay? And then he also reposted, "All my homies hate Vivierdo." Now, this is someone who is a officer of the law. When you do that and you're under probation, the government is gonna be like, "Oh, you sending a smoke signal that people should hurt this woman?" That's why they're doing a motion to revoke his shit. Why did he do this? Because she's testifying in the OMF case, and she's basically saying, yo, OMF and 4PF, Lil Baby and them, they're beefing and is dying, and indictment's finna come down.
However, while in the middle of being investigated, Lil Baby got worried, so much so that he even ended his record label 4PF. It reads, Lil Baby reveals he ended his record label 4PF to avoid it being labeled as a street team.
First 4 Pockets Full had to come to an end, you know what I'm saying?
When you say of course, I mean, why you say of course?
Because it's all shit that be going on, and I had to start learning that, like, other people actions I could be held accountable for.
Right.
I ain't know all that at first, you know what I'm saying? I never would have went that route, but I ain't know, you know what I'm saying? Now that I know, I'd be a fool to just keep the same thing going. They trying to make something out of something that it ain't.
Right.
Like, if I got any kind of control of, hey, we gonna switch that whole thing up. It ain't even just about the police, it's just Period.
With the case being extremely serious, Lil Baby having money on people, investigators wanted to know how did this all start, and they found out the reason why, resulting in the police writing a statement saying, the Atlanta Police Department is calling out Lil Baby, saying his actions led to the passing of 2 young individuals last summer during a press conference on Wednesday, February 26. The Atlanta PD announced 7 arrests have been made in the connection of the passing of Jacody Davis and Lamont Freeman. Major Ralph stated the incidents were a part of a team incident that started at Lil Baby's music video shoot last May, where 3 people were injured. The Atlanta Police Department then strongly said, this team will work relentlessly to hold you accountable, referring to Lil Baby.
The investigation aspect of this, Lamont Freeman was allowed to be a 13-year-old for 27 minutes before gang violence ultimately took his life. Cowardly acts of an Atlanta-based rapper that decided to go over into a rival gang stronghold in a place that he knew he should not have been. And in the subsequent days, we saw and ultimately the deaths of 2 children as a result of his cowardly actions. And you know who you are. And I tell you that this team will work relentlessly to hold you and the persons that you are affiliated with responsible for those actions.
With the details then coming out of the incident where Lil Baby was recording a music video on an ops block outside of a taco shop.
Atlanta police are blaming a local rapper's music video for the deaths of 2 13-year-olds, and a $50,000 reward is being offered for more information. So far, 7 people have already been arrested.
Between the it was nothing but pop, 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 pop.
At least 25 shots fired.
Yeah, it was terrible. It was just a concert. I was waiting for Lil Baby to come buy my tacos up.
That same lady that was featured on the news clip who runs the taco stand allegedly told the ops that Lil Baby was there, but it was an accident. Posting on her Facebook, Lil Baby's at her taco stand, 3 cars deep, recording a video.
Where y'all at? We over here kicking in. We got Lil Baby shooting a video around here. We know how we do it at Slapping Taco. Baby, there he go, there he go. Y'all see him? He came to get him some tacos, baby. Y'all better pull up, cause you already know how we doing this Slapping Tacos, baby.
According to records, the ops weren't even aware Lil Baby was there filming. It was actually her Facebook video that got the attention of them, making them pull up with firearms and clearing the scene. But the police are arguing that Lil Baby should have never been there in the first place. He knows that's his ops block. He shouldn't have been there recording a music video. But since this evidence file started, Lil Baby has had multiple run-ins with the law. It was announced Lil Baby was arrested Monday night for carrying a concealed firearm without a permit, and he was then sent to the Clark County Detention Center being held on a $5,000 bail.
I need 20 bands. Call the number for me. Hey, security, the black guy. Call the number for me. Locking me up for a gun, but I got license. Security, I need 200 bands a year. I swear to God, security. My check leave at 19. Nah, check me good. I got a in my nuts. Check me good. You on the count? I got a in my nuts. Check me good. I got a. Alright, y'all let me that car shoot myself dead. Y'all fired.
And even the time Lil Baby was arrested for an illegal window tint, were in the only body cam footage he was given a ticket, but then later arrested.
Huh? Man, you know why I pull you over these windows, they tinted. You can't see nothing out.
I'm a celebrity, man. Nobody can't see me. Give me my ticket. Let me ride.
I don't know what celebrity you are.
It don't matter. They give me my ticket. Let me ride. I can't have nobody seeing me right here. I'm gonna let my window up.
Oh, yeah, you good, but you can't have that tinted window, man.
Alright, they give me the ticket. Have a good day, man.
Now, who are you? You say you,
My name Lil Baby.
Okay, I just need you to sign right here, okay?
You got a pen?
827.
You don't be want to have these. You gotta have tickets in Atlanta. You folk crazy. I take a ticket, then somebody follow me home.
Put a 32.
Huh?
You can put a 32. If you got a medical exception, you can get the 10.
Once Lil Baby received his ticket, he would continue driving down the exact same street, allegedly then getting arrested only a few miles later by a different officer who would take him into the police station. Meanwhile, Kodak Black has just been arrested for new charges. He's now facing over 30 years inside a prison, but the worst part is, he was already committing these crimes before, now making him a repeat offender, meaning the court system are gonna go harder on him. These are rappers reacting to Kodak Black being arrested.
Rapper Kodak Black has been booked into the Orange County Jail here in Central Florida.
Don't ever doubt yourself. You got them babies counting on you. There's gonna be times where you're gonna doubt yourself, you're gonna be in pain.
Okay, so I thought Kodak was in Miami. I see he's in Atlanta. So I'm getting a flight down to Atlanta right now.
After receiving charges up to 30 years in prison, many rappers reacted trying to save Kodak. XXL wrote, Kodak Black has been arrested in Florida for trafficking. On Wednesday, May 6th, Kodak was booked in Orange County, Florida. According to police records obtained by XXL, he's facing 1 count of trafficking, a synthetic, an item with stimulant properties, as well as a product made on the TV show Breaking Bad. Kodak's attorney, Bradford Cohen, tells XXL the South Florida rapper turned himself in with connection in a 2025 case where police searched a car that Kodak was not the passenger in and discovered a bag containing a bottled prescription syrup, which allegedly had Kodak's fingerprint on it, getting the attention of DJ academics who would react, saying outside of Kodak's problems, he's still one of the greatest rappers in the game.
Okay, cool. I don't care about his history. Like, musically, Kodak to me is one of the greatest artists. Listen, I got Kodak up there when we talking about this era. Kodak's up there with the Playboy Cardis, with the YBs. They all up there to me in importance. So when anybody talks crazy about Kodak, I'm gonna defend Kodak. I'm sorry. I know when somebody's really important.
Doubling down on the importance of Kodak in the rap industry, many people have told Kodak he's one of the greatest of all time, but it's his actions outside of music that is ruining everything. While facing charges of 30 years inside a prison, we even saw OGs get involved reading, quote, Wallow and Gilly give life advice to Kodak Black, saying don't ever doubt yourself, you got them babies counting on you.
Don't ever doubt yourself, you got them babies counting on you. There's gonna be times where you're gonna doubt yourself, you're gonna be in pain, but them babies counting on you, you gotta be here. And I'm telling you that because a lot of people get around you and they see your success and they say, oh man, a lot of people need you, and they yes man you. I ain't here to yes man you. You know me, every time we connect, you know I got love for you. Not because I need you, I got love for you because you're a young cat and I was young, Gil was young. Live. And I'm telling you that because you see that love that lady get, you see how you light up when I talk about your babies? Live. These people want to laugh, they want to joke, they want to criticize. They don't know your pain, I don't know your pain. But I know one thing, them babies counting on you.
Trying to reason with Kodak on his recent struggles because his life is a lot bigger than just him. According to Google, Kodak has 5 children while also being the main breadwinner for his own personal family. Going to prison for 30 years is going to affect everybody in Kodak's life that depends on him, raising the question of why does Kodak feel the need to do these extracurricular items? One fan brought up an IG Live where Kodak claimed he has never felt true love.
I know girl treated you right. Never, bro. I never had a bit of love. I never experienced love before. I never experienced it. I never experienced it, bro. I never experienced it, bro. I never did, bro. I never did, bro. I never experienced love, bro. I never did, bro. I never had it. I never had it, bro. I never had this shit, bro. I never had it.
However, the most concerning part for Kodak is if he does go to prison, he may not last. Rap OG Boosie expected Kodak to be arrested, but he even called him out for always checking into protective custody when he goes to jail.
Mr. PC, you check PC, man. Nothing you rap is valid anymore, bro. Nothing you rap is valid, bro. Not to know. Nothing you rap is valid. You ain't got more respect than a nigga who never made a hit, bro. Who trying, man. You ain't got more respect than him, bro. I respect them way more than you, man. You check PC, man. You not like that. Should I name all the rappers who been to the Fed, man? And ain't check PC, man. The worst of the worst, man. You walk that way, man.
Which Kodak may not have any choice but to go into PC if he does get sentenced for 30 years, because the only reason he will be sentenced that long is because he has priors related to the exact crimes he's now being charged with. Due to this, Boosie would even explain Kodak won't survive prison due to him working with 6ix9ine on music.
You know, Kodak done been in jail, bro, so that was a detrimental move to him, bro. Like 6ix9ine, I'm gonna tell you this, Vlad, and I'm pretty sure 6ix9ine knows this too. 6ix9ine is the most hated person in prison. Really? You hear 6ix9ine name damn near every other day. When people looking at their case, this motherfucker 6ix9ine. Like he is hated, he's hated. He's hated, bro. What Kodak did, he's gonna have to stand on that. He better stay out of, I got 9 calls from the feds, from the state, everything. Like, Boost, is it true? I know people are, bro, they gonna get on Kodak for that, bro. When if he ever...
Kodak making music with 6ix9ine not only affected him in the prison system with convicts not respecting him anymore, but it also affected him in the rap industry with Meek Mill writing, "I damn near don't even want to be labeled a rapper no more," which could also be another reason as to why not many rappers are reaching out to save Kodak, but there's one in particular who tried. This would be none other than rap legend Kanye West, who reacted to Kodak's problems.
Okay, so I thought Kodak was in Miami. I see he's in Atlanta, so I'm gonna flight down to Atlanta right now and do something. So anybody that's already down in Atlanta that knows him and knows anything about him, I know I said rappers and all that, but right now, I need y'all, man, to like really go and do something. Like we can't, I know y'all think I'm crashing out. Y'all, you see me talking, I'm expressing myself. And look, man, please don't, I know I said a lot, and just let me go down there and go help this man out.
Where Kanye West was reaching out to save Kodak before his arrest for one very interesting video going viral online, where Kodak was seen eating chicken in the middle of the road, looking completely out of it.
The wrong thing. Take a seat next to him, take a seat next to him. Enjoy that food, enjoy that. Take a seat next to him, brother.
Oh, hold on, please. I want to be part of bro. I want to join them, bro. I want to be down here.
Even getting the attention of Boone, who would reach out with love, trying to save Kodak.
But right now, man, we worried about you. You don't look too healthy. And from the outside looking in, it's obvious that you're and I don't believe for 1 second you just doing for your own enjoyment. Nah. You trying to find something to fill up that void that's within your chest. See, I've been where you at right now. But by the grace of God, I'm clean. Them strongholds have been pulled down. Them chains are broken. So I'm qualified to talk about this. You got to make a decision, bro. You got too many people looking up to you. And from one father to another, you got to set the right example for your son. This coming from somebody who genuinely cares. So if you come across this video, you want to sit at the table, break bread, man, holla.
But this is where it gets very interesting, because when Kodak entered the courtroom, the prosecutors presented an entire file of evidence to the judge, trying to stop Kodak from receiving a bond until trial began. Literally showing the judge an IG live of Kodak admitting to using the same product that they found that is also made on the TV show Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it must be off today because he eating good. What you mean? You mean like as in like I must be off it or I must like not be on it? What you trying to say? Whoever the his name, mellow fellow. You don't know me. I eat good. I eat good every day, all day, yeah, man. High or not, you heard? I'm being a. You hit him talking. I tried it though. You said keep. I don't keep for real. But I'm gonna tell y'all this right here, right now. Man, everybody be on. It's real, man. You feel me? That's why I said that.
That's why I had said that, you feel me?
While also sharing viral tweets with the judge, one fan wrote, "Every time I see Kodak, I get so sad. That man has like 4 baby moms and not one of you greedy women care about him for real, because why are y'all not helping him? You're probably sitting around waiting for him to pass." Alongside another tweet, "Every day I see a new video of Kodak strung out, not even acting like a human. Is somebody gonna help him?" To even anyone else afraid if Kodak doesn't get any help, we're gonna lose him, things are bad, trying to tell the judge Kodak needs to be locked up. It's the only way that he'll stay away from the extracurricular items to get his life back on track. Because recently on IG Live, Kodak mentioned he's just waiting to pass.
Everybody getting while we waiting on other people too, right? Other people, they don't know how to let time do its thing. Hey, bro, like let time do its shit, bro. Time is the best, what you call it, whether it's gonna heal or whatever it's gonna let, you know, let time do its shit. You gotta be patient. Love is patient, love is kind. You know, like I'm saying, it makes absolutely zero sense, no sense at all. To try to approach the situation with any type of aggression. The whole world on everybody on your man on your on everybody again while we waiting while we just down here waiting on when.
But this is where it gets very concerning for Kodak, because he was arrested on these exact charges 2 to 3 years ago in a separate case. This now makes him a repeat offender, explaining why he's now looking at 30 years. But it's important to note how that case ended, because on February 28th, 2023, it reads, "Kodak Black admits to being on drank, but denies being on other items after pleading not guilty on possession and firearm charges," once again literally admitting to doing what he's charged with right before trial begins.
I was on the and I was asleep in front of my family house, bro. That's it. I was on that drink, sleep in front of my people's house. But that ain't illegal. And that ain't illegal. I mean, so all that shit is just the process that it had to be in any other mud shot. The process that even though like bogus as I'm plastered all over the internet. Then on top of that, it's like, bro, like, I'm Haitian. I mean, and then it's just like my error, bro, like, nah, like, man, you better off.
However, this case ended with his lawyer, Bradford Cohen, securing him a deal to have him sent to rehab rather than sitting in jail for 2+ years.
Kodak, whose real name is Bill Capri, faced a judge Tuesday in Orange after turning himself in following an arrest warrant issued for violation of his pretrial release. Authorities said he tested positive during a random test earlier this month.
It is just unjust and not right about the situation.
Black, addressing the judge after the pretrial release technician testified he may have mixed up the samples between Black and another patient.
There's no way you tested positive. We can resolve that by way of a hair sample, and that'll clear you.
Judge Barbara Duffy then asking for a hair sample today to clear up the alleged mix-up, which Black refused, rather choosing to check into the Legacy Rehabilitation Facility for 30 days as part of his pretrial release.
But it's what Kodak Black did after going to rehab for multiple years that the prosecutors will use as leverage to ensure he doesn't go to rehab again and instead goes to prison. All they need to do is share what Kodak did 1 week after being released, where he was seen on a Kai Cenat live stream having extreme sweats, swatting at things that weren't even there, and yelling random words.
You can't always say it, but at times when it feel good, that's when you say it sometimes. Yeah. I thought your name was Bubba. Hey, oh.
Where once again, Kodak Black would hop on IG Live trying to explain the situation, then admits he used an extracurricular item, breaking his entire streak of being clean.
Say y'all people that who be on that, y'all be on all type, y'all be on say all type of stupid. You know, but I take me one and y'all be so buttered. Y'all wanna like it anyway. Yeah. Everybody else who be coming like on that timing, they ain't got no motion. They broke, they hurt, they something, or they trying to come into life some kind of way and trying to like look for any type of little. Y'all yeah, I could come in that way. Oh, I think you need help. Oh, look, bro, but y'all like, and then y'all think.
This will be more than enough evidence to share with the judge to prove that he cannot go to rehab again. He needs to be locked up to learn his lesson. And if that's not enough, they can literally show the judge what he did the following months later as he live streamed everything, such as when he was making breakfast in his home, jumping on the kitchen counters, not acting human.
Bitch got the sentence. What you want a Mac? Got some sentence. Got the sentence. You bitches, boy. Got some sentence. Boy, I want to raise you on your back. Yeah, stuck on the Mac. Hey, stuck on the Mac. Then a bed rest. There's a long nap. Because she took it out today and you can't do it back. You can't help.
But the story even gets worse because Kodak went to a Baltimore Ravens game. Tweets read, NFL fans are worried for rapper Kodak's health as he appeared off while showing love to star quarterback Lamar Jackson in the Ravens, where Kodak literally looks like he doesn't even know where he is.
Hey Kodak, what you gotta say about the Ravens, big G? I love the Ravens. Hello. Hey, what about that boy LJ, man? What you gotta tell the flock about that boy LJ, man? Yeah! Hello. Yeah! Hey, that boy Yak in the city. Yeah, Yak in the city. I live out here. Hello. Yeah, Yak in the city. Baltimore, let them know.
To even going to a Little League game where Kodak was spotted by a fan, where this fan told Kodak he loves it when he's clean, which made Kodak respond very aggressively once again on IG Live.
Say I love when Kodak's sober. Change sober. I look sober.
That nigga's going for two.
I know it's sober. For what? For what? Look at all this money. Look at all this cash. Sober for what? Too young, sober. Young, sober.
While it does seem a lot of it is Kodak's fault, the truth is he just doesn't have a strong support system. Kodak Black was seen pacing around his room claiming he is Drake's favorite rapper. Now he definitely could be. However, this is more of a confirmation that he is hanging out with the wrong crowd. His own friends in his home, sitting there filming Kodak pacing around, strung out, rather than trying to save him. Because this video should have never been released online.
I'm Drake's favorite rapper.
Who?
I'm his favorite rapper.
You Drake favorite rapper?
Yeah.
Nah.
He always say that. Even his people always say that. They always say that. Even when he, you know what I mean? Even when he ain't around, so shit like, oh no, it's for real, bro. You just got it.
Many rappers believe if Kodak had a stronger support system, he would think out things a lot further rather than being invited to the White House, then showing up and tweaking.
So like, imagine a world if all of us was just one color. If all of us was just blue or green. Oh, if everybody was smart, you gotta have some dumb people. Oh, what if everybody was rich? Who's gonna take the trash out?
Where that footage would go mega viral online, so viral, Kodak even responded. He would want to apologize to everyone, saying that he wants to use his influence for change and that he's deeply sorry for anyone that he's done wrong to.
I'm honestly, I'm sorry to everybody. I'm sorry to the people who I heard it. I'm sorry if you don't understand me. I'm sorry if you just don't like me. I'm sorry, baby. And I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to everybody that I've wronged. And I'm so sorry to all the times I made my mom cry. And I'm sorry to all the girls whose heart I broke. I'm sorry to young Miami. You know what I'm saying? For kind of disrespecting her and stuff like that. She accepted my apology.
She did?
Then later on that night, even responding to Kanye West's message where it would be shared, Kanye's a real one. You want to know why? Kanye's the only guy who still likes Diddy. I'm pretty sure the feds are going to seize all that boy's accounts. Kanye just did some real stuff, and you know what? I'm going to do a collab with you so we can get some money.
Sleep when people done woke me up yay. Kanye a real one. You know why you a real one? Cause I'm some whole kind of like Kanye the only still Diddy, cause he know he ain't a lot of the other look at me. I'm clean up in why Kanye like.
However, the concerning part is, if Kodak does go to trial for the charges he is facing, everything I shared will likely be shared with the judge, as the prosecutors will say he needs to be locked up to finally learn a lesson. Comment down below if you agree, and like the video if you're still supporting Kodak. Curious how many of you are. Similar to Lil Baby, the Atlanta police are also targeting Young Thug for probation violation after he was involved in an altercation with Charleston White, while also being reckless with how he's been online. Young Thug was just caught breaking his probation via a police body cam. The news reads, Young Thug was nearly arrested and taken back into custody after being caught driving on a suspended license and clocked at 83 miles an hour while in a 45 zone. Getting fan reactions reading, Thug's probation sentence is over a decade long and bro is already testing the limits by driving over double the speed limit with a suspended license. He will be back in court this week and will be right back into jail. However, what many don't know is Thug's name is already going through the Atlanta court system right now. Just last week, it was announced YSL rapper Young Thug is now being investigated by Atlanta police for his altercation against Charleston White. Signs point towards the rapper being arrested for questioning soon.
They ain't ready for that, mate. They so dumb.
After the altercation was over, Charleston White would go back to his hotel room, hopping immediately on IG Live. He would record a message for Young Thug and warned him for what is about to happen.
Jeffrey Williams, let me explain something to you, mother. You on probation, right? You just approached me, threatening me. Your words was, we step on, okay? You didn't say I. You made it plural. You said we. So that's in cohorts. I mean a gang. You on probation. Then you had a fella with you that was possession. You are not supposed to be around with people that had eyewitness along with other witnesses.
However, things would get even worse for Young Thug the following morning because Charleston White would hop on IG Live once again, but this time telling Young Thug that he already snitched on his probation officer, and he even told Young Thug to say goodbye to his wife Mariah because he'll be back in jail very soon.
Two things you can't do. Stop me from going to the police and unscaring me. Yeah, once you scare me, you can't unscare me. And say, that showed up musty with $1 million chain around his neck. You think I ain't scared of? Can't keep getting all these violations, but this one's gonna get it. Before I leave and I go hit him with the restraining order, that's what's gonna shake the probation department.
But here's where it gets very scary for Young Thug, because right before the famous YSL RICO trial, Young Thug was actually pulled over by police, which investigators claim was more of a way for police to confirm that Young Thug was in Atlanta before swarming the YSL mansion and arresting him.
You guys are flying. You're going over 100 miles an hour down the metro.
Can I please get a warrant? Please. But if I was a cop and the person told me, I'll be like, I might have slapped him like, I want to give you.
I don't want to slap
so bad. But you told me that your license, you just got your license back. I ain't gonna get your license.
I've seen one too many bodies.
I promise I won't do it again.
I've seen one too many bodies, man. You know how many of those homies?
And now, just this week, Young Thug was pulled over once again. He wasn't taken into custody, but police just tracked his car down and made sure he was still in Atlanta. Seeming as if we're about to see Young Thug arrested again, because the most concerning part of it all is this is all going to be added to his existing probation violation evidence file that was already opened around 8 months ago. In case you didn't know, it was announced Atlanta rapper Young Thug is finally facing the consequences of the entire YSL snitching and jail call situation. Multiple violations of his probation occurred when jail calls leaked and Young Thug was trying to defend himself on social media. Investigators expect the rapper back in court very soon, seeming like the Atlanta police were waiting for Young Thug to get into another situation that they could add to the probation violation file before fully submitting it through the Atlanta court system, so then they can get him on 2 violations rather than 1. They highlighted a certain important tweet reading, FYFN Lucci, new album Friday. Being highlighted in the court file when Young Thug was announcing his album, he's not allowed to diss anybody on social media, but definitely not allowed to diss somebody tied to the YSL Rico trial. It's against his probation. This would get reactions of, Benzino calls out the system for leaking Young Thug's private jail calls, saying it was designed to bait him in while on probation. He believes the government purposely leaked them without watermarks to sway the public opinion. Like the video if you agree.
What I'm more surprised at and more kind of pissed off at is, how the is this even constitutional that a prison, which is part of the system, right, can leak private phone calls? I don't, that it blows me. How can that happen? Now, they're saying, well, who leaked them? Somebody had to get money for them. Nah, because there's no watermark on them. If TMZ bought them, you can best believe TMZ's watermark will be all over that. There's no watermark. I guarantee the government's leaking them because they know what they're doing. They know, let me tell you something, from the feds to City Hall to the mayor to the governor, they all got a communications department where they have hired staff that all they do is look at social media for various reasons. That's it. And us as a community and culture, we just give them everything they want. It's easy.
This even got the attention of DJ Academics, who would give the truth behind the YSL situation in that Young Thug should have never tried to defend himself on social media. There's no need for trying to prove everyone that you're gangster.
You know, I like all this YSL. I like Thug, I like Gun. I'm gonna like him before I'm gonna like him after. But I'm gonna tell you what they got wrong at. They've been propagating the street free code. These are millionaires. Millionaires made it from the bottom. But they're obsessed with trying to portray the image that they're the realest street ever. I just seen Woody put up a post. He says, no, I'm not okay. Huh? Since when is street it sounded like little white girls Karen? Everybody in that situation need therapy. And the reality why they all need therapy is because they made it. When YSL was known by you and me, YSL was lit. It's popping. But they weren't happy with all the money and all. They still want to propagate the same. Then as soon as Johnny Law come, they don't want to do it no more. They start thinking about their mamas, their sisters, their kids. Never seen something like that. It's the first time I've seen gangsters need therapy.
Young Thug wants to prove to everyone that he is still gangster no matter what leaked online or even got him in trouble. But with him trying to prove that he is still gangster, it's breaking his probation every single time. The news wrote, the state of Georgia has filed a motion to revoke Young Thug's probation and send him back to jail. So to understand what Thug was trying to defend himself on, it's important to review the entire evidence file to see how many violations that he made. The first violation was Young Thug calling out a woman police officer, the same officer Gunna made his plea deal with. What many don't know is right after Young Thug called out a woman police officer, jail calls started to leak online. On top of that, the video of Young Thug in the interrogation room would also go viral online of him snitching on Pee Wee Roscoe, where Young Thug claimed Pee Wee Roscoe was responsible for the Lil Wayne tour bus incident in 2015. The interrogation lasted 2 hours, resulting in Roscoe reacting saying, Pee Wee Roscoe addresses Thug supposedly telling on him in the interrogation room.
Politicking, man, Jeff, clean as Listerine, man, clean as Ivory soap, you feel what I'm saying? I done the time, I did that. That's what you supposed to do. When you go in the interrogation room, that's what you do. He told you, man, we say the Wayne Carter, what's wrong with you? You feel what I'm saying? No, a statement is this right here. Lineup selective. That's him. He did that. He didn't do that. He did what a taxpaying citizen do, a real street. Kept it solid, kept it overly real, you feel what I'm saying? Really tried to pull me out the hole. So, I don't, you feel what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to the PR now, y'all don't remember when I was locked up now. Let me just show you how the PRs and the internet selective politics. You know what I mean? We're gonna keep it real. When I was locked up and Jeff was locked up, we went viral. When they was like, that's the type of friend you want. He was like, man, Roscoe ain't told y'all that thing. Yeah, that's the beauty there. That's the right thing. You feel what I'm saying? Like all those, Everybody is in the state room, in the interrogation room, and they gave statements.
Which would be the beginning of the end for Young Thug, as he had to defend himself every single day. Tekashi 6ix9ine would react to the interrogation video.
Yo, I just want to know where all the energy at. The Young Thug situation, I stood quiet 2 days just watching it play out. Watching what excuses the people come up with. Every day, every year, every time I come out, y'all move the goalposts further, 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 further. Oh, nah, bro, it's different. No, it's different, bro. It's different, bro. It's different. You told, like, before 12 in the afternoon. Like, that's a forbidden rule. You can't do that. No, bro, it's okay, bro, because he told after 3, like, bro, it's so easy. They tell you, you have the right to remain silent. Anything used against you could be used in a court of law, whatever the case they say. You have the right to call an attorney right now. You spoke for 2 hours. 2 hours. I'm not, it's me, the horse. Like, I'm not saying that. Y'all heard what y'all heard. Where's all the energy at? Why hear everybody quiet? Why Lil Baby, 21 Savage's Future? Why you not saying nothing?
Which left Young Thug replying, "They didn't play my interrogation video in court because I helped my brother. #ratware," which again, he's not allowed to defend himself. Then a former YSL member named Mondo came out speaking his own thoughts, revealing it was 100% snitching, but you comment down below if you think it was.
I just beat him off a Rico. Come home, still talking about, oh, rat, da-da-da. Bro, that's God. That ain't nothing but God biting you back in your bro, cause you probably been thankful that you just beat a life sentence in a Rico and came home and minded your business and been humble. But instead you still coming out pushing the rat narrative, bro, and all that, this, that, and the third. Now look, he came back and bought your bitch. But that ain't the key. The thing is too though, he brainwashed people. He still got motherfuckers on there talking about, and y'all heard it with y'all own ears. You got motherfuckers AI, it did that and the third, and oh, he ain't rat on nobody. Bro, if you sit down with 12 and bust out and say these words, if y'all talking about like Gunna ratted from saying yes ma'am, you mean to tell me this not making a rat by saying they said Roscoe the bust up, and then a nigga Roscoe did 10 years behind this, and you just got on the internet talking about didn't rat on you? Boy, so brainwashed, it's sickening. Y'all need daddy figures, and y'all just be sitting back waiting on something good, waiting on something to happen. Like, yeah, I'm gonna stick around, maybe they'll put me on, maybe a nigga I can get something out. Roscoe, you the worstest. Twin, you worse than the rat itself. You did 10 years, twin, behind Roscoe. You did 10 years behind me, brother. And you just come on the internet and didn't tell on you when everybody just heard this man say your name a few times? You feel me?
But what seemed to get Young Thug the most upset is when YSL Woody came out warning 21 Savage and Lil Baby to stay out of the mess, because if Young Thug goes down, he's gonna bring him down with him.
Told them that. But it was going over their head. It was going over their head because why? This ain't street. This ain't who they pretend to be. I said, leave Gunna alone. Gunna didn't do nothing wrong. Go look at Thug's interview. They said, why you didn't sign Lil Baby? Thug said, because I didn't want to pull Lil Baby in my... Hey, Lil Baby, I know you might be watching, partner. Got nothing to do with you. Get your money. Hey, we need somebody to win, buddy. It can't be you. Stay out of it. Hey, 21, y'all, stay out of it. Hey, because get what, bro? One thing I know about a nigga that ain't got nothing to lose, he gonna take everybody down with him. Trust me. When it's time for to stand up, they gonna stand up. They can say what they want to say about me. They can say what they want to say about me. But I ain't did what nobody forced me to do.
As this would result in Young Thug crashing out on IG Live against who many believe is Woody, but then investigators believed it was against Gunna, and there's one specific reason for it.
We didn't even talk about these fake guys and fake houses with these pools you can get put out of in the next 2-3 years and all that cheese. We ain't even finna talk about none of that. Like, that is the topic of, I guess. Yeah, your spot out right now. You gonna put it on Instagram. I bet you put it on Instagram at your house out. On God. You blocked from your page. I'm following your, I'm on your from my fake page. Can't about to black me. I still see it. You post a picture. That ain't me on that picture. Lane green. The whole world been thinking that too, man. I'm gonna say something about that, man. That ain't me with that skirt on with that hat. Man say he got more hits than me and Kendrick. Bro, your ain't got more hits than Kendrick, and you ain't damn sure ain't got more hits or anthems than me. You hard, why you tripping? And I ride past your house for sale sign up. Now you done went and took your whole money and put down on that goddamn house out there, man, and you couldn't finish paying it off.
Now the lady that came took her shit back. Now your stupid gotta sell it.
Many believe that it was Gunna due to one specific thing mentioned by DJ Academics, where he wrote, "Gunna's been sitting on these jail recordings for a minute. Right now is the right time to drop them to further prove Rallo's point that Thug is putting everything against everyone. Gunna might be a genius."
I'm almost certain Gunna's team is leaking it to his fan pages. I'm almost certain, okay? I know they're not gonna agree to it, right? But I'm almost certain that Gunna's lawyers pulled, because yes, when you're in the case, you don't have to go through a Freedom of Information Act or anything like this, and some of these things would even be available, or it could be challenged if you try to do a FOIA on it. But it appears all of these things may have been gotten from maybe somebody who was in the case that would request them, and it could have been something for the nature of an appeal or something like that, so the courts are going to give it up because you're a defendant. So for me, I can't tell why there is, like, where's Gunna's calls? Like, we want to hear Gunna's calls, right? And by the way, you could tell maybe they were both doing it to each other. There's a time where Thug actually says he has been having his lawyers review Gunna's call, and Gunna is on the phone talking to a girl saying, "I love you, I'm gonna come home soon." And he basically even thinks that Gunna got out of jail early because he wanted, which, bruh, if that's the case, the streets is cooked.
This would end up resulting in a massive IG live from Rallo, 6ix9ine, Wack 100, and DJ Academics, where they would end up revealing the truth on whether or not it was Gunna leaking all of these jail recordings.
And get what? On that call, I never even told you he turned Wham against P, or he turned Wham against all these other different people that he did. But however, you have found out it came off the phone call. But guarantee you ain't going for that line. Should be shunned just like us. The judge had shunned them, now the streets need to shun that. Guess what? That's what I'm telling you. The thing about sitting down there, coming on here lying, playing them, yeah, you telling your ass the truth. Just like I stand up, don't like that tell the truth. He hiding behind these motherfuckers masks, but get what? A mask gotta come off. You ain't gonna be able to keep that motherfucking mask on forever. You ain't gonna be able to keep throwing rocks and hide your hand. This is karma.
Where DJ Academics would later reveal Thug is getting royalties from Gunna for the rest of his life due to the YSL contract that they signed. Regardless if Gunna snitched or Young Thug snitched, business is business, and contracts are always legally binding, meaning Gunna is gonna be making Young Thug a lot of money even if they aren't friends anymore. But some see it as a way of Gunna trying to get himself out of his YSL contract by really making the friendship bad.
Gunna got out. You gotta remember, Thug is running this label from behind jail. Thug wanted this off the fucking label. There's a lot of paperwork there, and also you gotta realize they're not gonna release somebody from their contract because they snitch. They're gonna say, we're gonna make money off the snitch. We don't do that. I'll give you a little bit more tea. All that told by Boston Richie told, Future wouldn't do a record with him, but Future wouldn't drop him. You see how it's business at the end of the day. And I had these conversations with people that worked with the new regime over at 300/Atlantic, and they said, yo, what's probably gonna happen is that his contract is gonna get moved, so he won't be YSL. But no, in the history of time, we don't care what you do, they're not letting you go. They'll optically take you off the label, but they're never gonna say we don't want percentage points on money you make.
However, in these police files for his probation violation, they noted this was around the time Young Thug realized he's not allowed to defend himself every single day, which is why his own sister would then get involved. It was written, Young Thug's sister says, people are calling him a snitch just because they know that he can't come to Atlanta. She said, we've been putting belt to everyone that's clicked up.
Don't be on the internet acting like my brother just and y'all know my brother ain't dead. On the internet acting like y'all just my brother, you know for a fact y'all doing it because he can't come back to Atlanta. Yeah. Don't do this. Gonna click up, do all this because they know he can't come back to Atlanta. That the only thing it is, he can't come back here. All that spit. Spit on who? Man, we gonna lay right back to A. Nah, we been putting belt. That's why everybody clicked up.
However, Sleepy Hollow, Chef G, and Big 30 are also locked up, but I want you to comment who I may have missed. Like the video if you're still watching, curious how many of you are.